It's recording. It's there,
You're
baby.
on.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the Bonsai Movie Crew. My name is Madison. That's Dad. That's Karen. And that's
Eric.
Dad. Okay.
Wait,
Anyways.
You got so many. Why not another?
Okay,
Why not another?
That's Eric. That's Eric. That's Karen. And that's Dad.
Joseph. Or
I'm not going to call you that.
or King Awesome, whatever you want to call him. It's cool.
Don't call him that.
drunken
Don't
night
blow
was
his head
this?
anymore. Anyways, welcome to or back to our channel, which is probably two. Hello. Anyways,
Squirrel.
I love it when she hosts. It's almost like having Matt back.
anyways,
I've
be
been
sure to check
14.
our TikTok, our Twitter, our Facebook, and of course our YouTube. And our Rumble. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share.
And also, we don't say this enough, but if you guys comment and if you're on our Spotify, please leave a review, like a review or whatever. They have Spotify reviews now, so you can give us like a star review. If you could do that, it helps a lot because it helps push the podcast on Spotify also.
Yeah.
So if you do that, like give us 4 or 5 stars, preferably 5 stars would be cool. If you could do that, that'd be awesome because that really pushes our content to other people. It helps push it.
Yeah, if you like it, make sure other people get to see it. Is essentially what we're
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
saying. Or hear it.
Share it with your friends, please.
And family.
And family, yeah. Family would be efficient. We also have an email if you would like to contact us that way.
Contest us.
It's very basic and easy to remember because everybody thinks everybody's basic nowadays.
Because we're basic ass bitches around here.
Make it easy.
They are. I didn't come up with it. Sorry, he
Easier.
is.
It's
I
the
didn't
name
come
of the
up with it.
podcast. What do you mean? Like, what do you want us to
never-
call it? Like, Joseph, Karen, Eric, and Madison's amazing email at Bonsai Movie Crew and other
Shit.
cool shit. Oh, yeah.
Boys.
You can do better than that. You
Explosions.
can do better than
At
that.
gmail.com.
You can do better than that. You can do better than that. Anyways, we would love to hear from you. It would warm our hearts and souls to hear what you have to say through email. Even though you could comment and tell us,
Or that.
or you could
we
email
would
us.
prefer it if you commented. That would be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And
We
it's
don't check the
easier
email
for
that
you.
much.
I tried to the other day. Wouldn't let me in.
I know, that was what that was.
That was me.
I got a alert about it. They're like, oh,
Yeah, it said I
this
needed-
person tried to log in.
Yeah, it
I'm like,
said
I
I
don't know
needed-
what that is. I think I approved it though, so you should be
I
okay.
couldn't get back in though.
You approved
It said I
it.
needed
She
to check.
tried.
They said,
Every
fuck
time.
you.
Well, then I got busy
okay,
doing
we
something else
give-
because I was gonna text
Yeah.
you like, "Hey, let me into the email,"
We-
but then I got busy doing
We
something
give
else.
out our email to the internet, and you approved it.
No, for me to get in.
But
Yeah,
they
but
would
we
need the
didn't-
'Cause I
password
was
to be
gonna
able to
try
get
to get
in.
in and check it.
They would need the password to get in.
Yeah, I have the password. So
What
I
if they
can- I'm
figured it
allowed.
out?
I would hope not.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna
See?
figure it
I
out.
don't think they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
We're not wearing tinfoil hats. I think we're
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
I think we'll be okay.
Wait, we're not wearing them?
No,
Not
we don't
right now.
need to.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Maybe if we review Nope again.
All right, let's get right into the news and trailers.
Joseph's got some fucking news.
Just news.
Just news.
No trailers.
Just news. I don't have any
favorite
trailers, dude. I don't have any trailers.
You ruined
I
Karen's
look forward
day.
to it every week.
Every
2
week
weeks
we've
in a
done it
row.
once.
Twice.
Twice.
2
Sorry.
weeks in a row, you've
Thrice.
disappointed me.
Oh, you guys are you're hard people to please, man.
Yeah.
Coming from
Made us
you.
that way.
I made you that way. So here's a little bit of news. Apparently there's a big uproar about this Cleopatra docuseries coming to Netflix. And so I'll just... I could show you the trailer, but it's dumb and boring, so...
Oh.
So Netflix is accused of blackwashing new Jada Pinkett Smith produced docuseries Queen Cleopatra by casting a black British actress as the historically Macedonian Greek ruler, sparking anger in Egypt. Hold on a second, let me scroll here. Netflix has been accused of blackwashing history by casting a black actress as Cleopatra in a new docuseries about the Macedonian Greek ruler. African Queens, Queen Cleopatra stars British actress Adele James as the Egyptian ruler. Produced by Jada Pinkett Smith, said she wanted to tell the story because we don't often get to see or hear stories about black queens. Okay. The trailer.
You can't really tell a story about a black queen if she wasn't a black queen.
Yeah. The trailer last week features claims that Cleopatra was black with curly hair. One historian asserts in the preview, I remember my grandmother saying to me, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black. But Egyptians have reacted with horror to the denial of records which show Cleopatra was Macedonian Greek. An Egyptian lawyer has filed a case with the country's public prosecutor demanding that Netflix be shut down. Meanwhile, Cairo's former antiquities minister I'm going to butcher this, Zahi Hawass, so sure, commended the Hawass. It's Hawass. That is Hawass.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
Condemned the docuseries as completely fake. Cleopatra was Greek, meaning that she was light-skinned, not black. And then it says here, okay, so I have a few things about this. I don't care that they use a black actress. She's not even like really like, she looks almost mixed color. She doesn't look black. You know what I mean? Like She looks like she could be mixed, like biracial.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me either way.
I don't care either way. The only reason why I'm like, fuck this is because it's produced by Jada Pinkett Smith. Because fuck that bitch. I don't like her. She can suck a dick and I hope they win.
Yeah, I don't really care either way either. I feel like it's the same thing as like...
I mean, as long as the acting's good.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, well, it's not even acting. It's a docuseries. Essentially, it's going to be it's going to be like a documentary. It's going to be like a History Channel documentary.
Like
Yeah.
where there's like scenes of like
I've never
history, but then you're going to see interviews with people.
And
Like-
not to mention,
like-
even Egyptians have that tannish...
Right,
color
and
skin
so
anyway,
and this
so
is
it doesn't
another
really
thing
matter,
too.
but-
It says right here, Cleopatra was famously played by a white English actress, Elizabeth Taylor, opposite Richard Burton
Yeah.
as Mark Antony in Joseph L. Mankiewicz, whatever historical epic from 1963.
Yeah.
So I mean, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I don't care what fucking colors.
don't care
It's no
either.
different than like
the only
people getting pissed off about like the black girl playing the Little Mermaid. Who gives a fuck, dude?
As long
Who
as the acting's
cares?
good.
No, the only thing that I had to say about it was, we don't get to hear stories about a black queen. Well,
That was the only thing I'm
you're
like-
not hearing one now.
Yeah, like this isn't a story about a black queen. She wasn't black to begin with.
She was
but
Egyptian.
but if they want to cast a black actress to play the fucking queen, sure. It's
Yeah,
just
I don't
it's
care.
not real life, dude. It's a movie.
But
And
I also don't want to hear it if they cast a white guy in a black role.
I don't either.
I don't want to hear that.
I don't
opposite
either. But I think there are certain liberties that can be taken. But then there are other things that you're like, okay, maybe not so much. Like you can't have
Well, what I'm saying is
you
like,
can't
okay,
have
for
a white dude
example-
playing Martin Luther King.
Sure, but
You know what I mean? Like-
if they recast Man on Fire, and they decide
They already
to put-
did.
No,
Originally, it was played by a white dude.
right, but I'm saying, it's so ingrained in people's head that Denzel Washington played.
It is in mine. That's
I'm
an
sorry.
amazing movie.
I'm sorry, Denzel.
Denzel. Sorry,
that-
Denzel.
Yeah, that Denzel played played Greasy. That if they recast it now and put Chris Hemsworth there,
They could do that because, like I said, originally he was played by a white man.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like I don't want to hear anybody up in arms like that's a black man's role.
Right, and
That's all I'm saying.
I don't agree with all the. I don't care if you fucking race swap people.
Samuel L. Jackson spot in the Star Wars.
Well, they're talking about doing. They're talking about doing the Black Superman and shit. I think with Michael B. Jordan or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude.
Last I heard, he was the one that they wanted to do it.
I mean, he's got the body for it. He's
for sure.
fucking ripped.
He's great.
But yeah, I'm like, dude, who gives a fuck, man? Who gives a fuck? The only reason why I care is because it's Jada Pinkett Smith, and I hate that bitch. I hate that bitch.
I want her to fall flat on her face.
I do too. I want her to fall on her face, and I want her to take all the fucking. I want her to take all the heat she can take, man, because I hate that woman. And Will Smith could do so much better, man.
I hit her with the fire.
I do. I don't like her at all. I don't like her face. I don't like her voice, and I don't like her. I just don't like her. But as for the docuseries, I don't give a fuck what color this girl is. If she wants to, they can put a fucking, like I said, purple. She could be purple. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either.
I don't give a shit. Because you know what? I'm probably not going to watch it anyway.
If you're a good actor, I don't really care. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you can't have it both ways. That's all. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
But somebody probably should correct that grandma that was in there saying that Cleopatra was,
it's no different.
A black woman.
It's no different than, whitewashing history. Our grandparents did that. Our grandparents whitewashed every person in history.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean,
so it's no
like
different.
you say, Jesus is white. Jesus wasn't white.
Definitely wasn't. He was
Jesus wasn't white. Sorry, man.
He was from the Mediterranean. Let's be honest. He was.
Yeah. He was definitely dark skinned.
For sure.
But whatever. Believe whatever you want. Aluminum foil hats for everybody.
Yeah. What's his name? He was Ewan McGregor. I'm pretty sure. Jesus
was Ewan McGregor sure. As Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Anyway.
Obi-Wan was Jesus.
You know how many pictures I've seen in grandparents' houses that are Ewan McGregor?
Oh, I've heard about that.
Have you seen the where they voiced over Obi-Wan and Darth Vader in that last scene where they're getting ready to fight? And they voiced it over with Japanese. Oh, it's so funny.
Oh my god.
It's so epic.
Just as reference, I'm wearing
Oh my god.
I'm wearing some
Oh my god.
Huh? I'm wearing some like sort of like Valentine's Day Darth Vader shit over here.
It says it's pointless to resist.
It is pointless to resist. And it's got hearts all over it with Darth Vader. Yeah, I'm stylish today. Oh, and I'm all Star Wars out, dude. I'm wearing fucking Grogu on my shirt, as you guys think of him as Baby Yoda.
He is Baby Yoda.
I thought his name was the child.
It is the child, and his name is Grogu.
Oh.
Come on.
Jack has a little one that walks around his room and talks to him.
Anyway, that's all the news I got. Let me know what you think of the casting of a mixed race. Actually, I think she's mixed race. She looks mixed race. Anyway, she's not fucking Macedonian. Yeah. She's not Macedonian Greek, so she's also not white. I'm not even sure she's really black. So
she shouldn't be white though, really.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we have Egyptian actors.
Yeah,
a few.
Oh, this is no different than whenever they made that. What's that movie? With it had. Well,
I mean, Troy.
Troy was one of them, but no, I'm talking about that one about the Egyptian gods and shit. What was that? It had God damn, who all was in that?
Yeah, it had Christian Bale in it.
Christian Bale was in it. What's his face?
Alexander was another one that they bitched about. Too.
Yeah, Alexander was another one.
Farrell dyed his hair blonde.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could bitch about all those. I mean, you could go back and bitch about it, but this is just another movie that people are getting hyped up about for no fucking reason.
I don't care.
Who gives
like,
a fuck?
If you're a good actor and you got
cares?
cast, good for you. That's all I'm saying.
I don't care.
All right, let's get into what you guys have been watching.
What the hell have you been watching?
We'll start with Eric.
Okay.
Iraq.
So I watched Murder Mystery 2.
Decent.
How was that?
It.
Yeah.
I liked it.
He's just saying.
Was it as good as the first one? I haven't
Did
seen
you like
it yet.
the cheese part? That part cracked me up.
He's constantly.
That cracked me up.
Constantly. So
I looked at Jeremiah because the cheese part. I was like, "That's fucking you, dude."
I watched
cheese.
Red Notice. I watched that.
Oh.
I watched the finale for The Last Kingdom. Fucking epic. Yeah, you should really...
I haven't watched any of The Last Kingdom.
You should really check out the seasons.
Hey, man, I just watched an episode of Supernatural today, which I haven't touched in months. So, I'm doing okay. You know? I still got 5 fucking seasons of that to get through.
Then I kind of went through like a Keanu Reeves thing. I was watching Constantine, and then I watched...
That's a good one.
Then I went off the deep end and watched the new Matrix.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
That's the new one?
The new one.
Yeah. Revelations or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Not good?
It was good until the end.
Yeah.
I have not watched...
I was disappointed.
I watched
Yeah.
the first one, and then I watched the trilogy. I didn't like any of them but the first one.
I liked the first 3 movies. I think all 3 of them are
the first
good.
3 were
I
good.
don't
It's
like
just
any of
after
them.
that, it's kind of...
Yeah, that 4th one was just kind of like, it just falls off the deep end at the end there. I'm like,
I only like the first
I didn't care for it.
one. So I don't think I'm going to go any further.
you don't need to,
not
honestly.
going to.
You can stop at the first one and be like, that's good enough for
like-
me.
Yeah,
I
I
stopped
think
on-
I'm just going to delete the rest of them from my memory.
Yeah.
I stopped
that's
on
good enough
Scream
for me.
3. I didn't watch anything past Scream 3, so...
I watched the 4th one, and then I watched, unfortunately, the 5th one. I'm done.
I've watched all of them. I can't say much.
I haven't seen the 5th one yet.
The 6th one, you haven't seen the 6th
The
one.
6th
Yeah.
one, that's what I said.
There's so many of them. Why even keep track at this point? I mean,
That's all I watched.
The 3rd, the 4th, trash. That's all you need to
I
talk
like the
to
4th one.
Like the Freddy Krueger.
the 4th one was good. Honestly, the 5th one wasn't even that bad.
No, it wasn't.
The 6th one really just...
I'm glad Karen didn't hear me shout.
Had me bored.
I heard you. I'm just
I even went
trying
and
to
watched that shit
entertain
in
you.
theaters. All right. Yep.
Alright, what about you, Dad?
I didn't watch that much this week.
Never did I.
I watched 65. I think you watched some of that with me, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing with you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So I watched 65, that movie with Adam Driver, where he goes back. I don't know if he goes back 65 million years or if it's like an alternate. I don't fucking know because they don't explain it.
They really don't.
They don't explain it at all. I'm
I
just
thought
like,
he just landed on a different...
no, it was Earth, but it was 65 million years ago, and they don't explain how he got there
No,
at all.
I
Like
thought it
they
was-
say nothing about it.
I thought it was because, like, it was trying to say, like, humans were from another place first, and then they moved here. I thought that's what it was trying
For
to get at.
aliens.
I mean, that could be a possibility. Yeah, maybe that's what they were trying to say. Because it said something about, like, until someone landed here or something, and maybe he left his DNA behind, and that's what created humans. I don't fucking know. Either way, it was kind of weird. It was a good little action flick, and it showed, like, Adam Driver's good in anything. Like, I love Adam Driver. I think he's a great
liked the
actor.
movie.
He was one of the best parts about the new Star Wars movies, because he was Kylo Ren. But like the movie was good. It was just they don't explain anything, like
Yeah.
why they're there, where they're going when they leave, nothing. So I was a little confused by it all. But whatever, it was a good movie. I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend it to people. I haven't even actually told anybody I even watched it. So you know what I mean? Like it was one of those movies that I don't think it did very well in theaters. But it was good, I guess. I wouldn't buy it or anything. Just the seeing the dinosaurs and
I've
shit.
actually heard of it, honestly.
I think seeing the dinosaurs and all that was pretty cool. Like that was cool, and him fighting the dinosaurs, all that good shit.
Dude fought a dinosaur?
He fought several dinosaurs.
That sounds cool.
He killed like 3 Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Yeah, all back to back.
Did he have guns?
He had a gun. It was a pretty badass
That's pretty
gun.
impressive.
Yeah. So anyway, and then we finished Beef on Netflix. That show is fucking awesome. I don't care what anybody says, man. If you haven't seen Beef, check that shit out. That might be one of my new favorite shows, like recent shows, because it was really good. It's so fucking random at points. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and then it just goes bonkers in the last few episodes. You're like, holy shit, like shit just got deep. Like, so it was really good. Steven Yeun kills it. Her name's Ali Wong, the girl. She kills it. Dude, I love that it's an all Asian cast too. I fucking love it because like I know that people are like, oh, you're whitewashing, you're blackwashing. Fuck that, dude. Give me an Asian cast. Like, it's awesome, dude.
You don't see it very.
You don't see it very often. And I loved it. I thought that they did awesome. I think that I want to see more. I want to see more of it. I got through all 10 episodes. Me and Crystal binge watched the last 5 episodes.
How long are the
one
episodes?
night. 30 to 40 minutes. So it's definitely worth checking out. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Steven Yeun, Ali Wong, Beef on Netflix. It's awesome.
Such an interesting title too.
It's well, I mean, you get it though. I mean,
I
they got
get it.
beef, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
Not like beef, like nom nom beef, you know. But
Nom nom.
nom nom.
Is that everything?
That's everything. That's all
All
I
right,
watched.
Karen.
Before we go to
Save the
Karen,
best
hold on,
for-
I'll be right back.
Are you? Of course.
Just go ahead and talk. Just go ahead and talk.
Karen's not important.
Okay. What a dick.
I was gonna say saving the best for last, but okay. Bye.
Bye.
We're still here.
It's true.
Karen's
The
here.
important people
Karen's
stay.
here.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad.
I watched True Detective season 1, and I started season 2.
Is that good?
Season 1 was amazing.
Season 1 is amazing.
Yeah. Season 2.
Season 2 and 3 aren't that great.
Jeremiah said it goes season 1, 3, and then 2, and then 4.
I would agree. Yeah, 2 is probably the weakest season.
Yeah. So I think
There's a 4th one coming out with Jodie Foster though.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
prompted me because I was like, okay, I better get into this before we get too much
Yeah.
further.
I can't wait for that because, like, season 1 was amazing.
Yeah.
And then, like, season 2, I was just like, ugh. And
Well-
it took me a really long time to actually want to watch season 3, but we finally watched. And I was like, it was good. It wasn't as good as season 1, but
Yeah.
it was
Well,
definitely
it's a
better
hard
than
act
season
to
2.
Follow when you've got Matthew McConaughey and
Well, fuck.
Harrelson.
The 3rd season has
like everybody.
Brad. No. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're talking like it's got Brad. Or,
No, I mean season 2. It had like everybody. It had Rachel.
oh, I know.
McAdams,
Yeah,
Colin
Rachel
Farrell.
McAdams.
Like, it had
Yeah,
all this
it was
talent,
insane.
But I don't know. I think that
Rachel McAdams might have been the best person in season 2 because
I
of
don't
how
know.
well she acted.
I'm drawn between her and Colin Farrell because they seem like the only 2 characters with any depth.
That's
so
true.
far.
Yeah,
And then also
they don't give Vince Vaughn near enough time.
No, and he doesn't seem to have any real depth. He's just your run of the mill mob
Yeah,
type guy. Like there's no real.
it comes around at the
I
end.
mean, I guess,
but Rachel McAdams, I think her character in the show was for the second season was that was top notch acting from her.
Yeah, oh, she
did
good,
great.
yeah.
She did great.
I think that for me, so far, and I'm only 3 episodes in, I think that the flaw that I'm noticing is that there's just way too many things going on at once.
Yeah.
And you don't.
That's what I think that where they faltered with season
Yeah.
2. I was like, I think they tried to
talking
oversaturate
about
it.
Yeah, they
Detective.
didn't give it enough.
They're
Yeah.
talking
Like,
about
they didn't-
But like
Detective.
season 3 was great because it comes back
Not
to just one solid story
singular
between 2
storyline.
detectives,
Yeah.
and it's got Brad Dourif in it, and Mahershala Ali,
Okay.
and they're great, dude. They're
Yeah.
great on
Yeah.
together, and Brad Dourif, you're like, this dude's gonna be an asshole. He's an asshole, but he's like almost an asshole in a very endearing way.
Well,
So
it was really funny because, so we started watching season 1, and I told Jeremiah, I said, it's really funny because you got Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, and you're telling me that Woody Harrelson is the straight-laced guy?
right.
Like, what?
Yeah, and then like Matthew McConaughey's like this very by the books detective that's like very
No, he's off the fucking rails.
well, he's off the rails, yeah, but like I mean like he's very into what he's doing.
Yeah, he's into it, but he doesn't
He
give a
don't
shit
care
about
about
the
women,
books.
he don't care about shit. He cares about being a detective
Well, he
and
cares,
solving
he cares about
crimes
the case. He doesn't care
Yeah.
about, like, their rules or any
Yeah.
rules. You know what I'm saying?
until he bangs Woody Harrelson's wife.
Yeah. Well, technically, she
She kind of like
yeah,
she brought
that's
that
a
on
whole-
herself.
That's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I don't know. It's funny because you have these 2 detectives that you're watching the whole time, and neither one of them are very likable. Even though
Yeah.
maybe you want to like at least one.
Even
of
the
them,
characters
you
around
can't.
them aren't very likable.
Yeah, they-
Honestly, Matthew McConaughey was the best character in
He
that.
was, but he wasn't a good person.
No, he was a
either.
terrible person.
Yeah, it's such an interesting case study, I think, because
It's pretty
so far
awesome.
it is a really good. It's the best season, but there's nothing to pinpoint that you can say that you could hang your hat on other than the story.
I think that
Which,
I'm
of
hoping
course,
that
you know.
season 4 really brings it back to
It's
what season
supposed
1
to,
was.
from what I've read,
So-
but it's a totally different person than.
Yeah,
season
right.
2.
And I'm okay with that as long as it's like a whole, like as long as it comes back to what
Yeah.
made the first season so good.
Yeah. Anyway, I digress. I finished The Staircase since I got shit for it last week before I moved
About
on.
fucking time, dude.
I finished it, and I finished the Murdaugh murders.
Murdaugh murders, I think
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
I watched a show called Candy with Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. Jessica.
Is that where she played
She plays a serial.
serial? No, she kills like her neighbor or something
Yeah,
like
she
that.
killed her neighbor because she was banging his.
Justin
her
Timberlake
husband.
was in that?
He was the sheriff.
He was. I know they're married in real life or whatever.
Yeah, he was the sheriff that arrested her, which was kind
That
of.
is so weird because
It
I
was.
haven't seen him in anything.
And he
lately.
was only in like an episode and a half, and only for like I don't know.
What the
20
fuck,
minutes of screen
Justin?
time.
What are you doing nowadays? Well, I guess he's got that new Trolls movie coming out.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
I always liked him as an actor, though. He
I do
always
too.
did
That's
good
what I'm
job.
like. Where are you at, dude? Like,
Yeah.
like I remember when he
She-
first started out. I was like, dude, I'll watch Justin
Dude,
Timberlake
she-
in anything.
She kind of killed it in that. I recommend if you're into true crime, watch it. She did really good.
Yeah,
If you know anything about the case.
I know very little about it.
So she was having an affair with the guy's or with the girl's husband. And there was this whole thing, and then she kills her, and the whole thing that they hung their hat on was that she was jealous and wanted the husband. But then it was proven in court that she, after the split from the affair, she was having other affairs. So then, her attorneys are kind of like,
You're
why
fucked.
why would she be all hung up on this guy if she can pretty much have any man she wants?
Right.
And it was a whole thing, and it's good. It's worth it.
Right.
And it's not very long. I think it's only like maybe 10 episodes. I mean,
It's like a miniseries, right?
Yeah. It's really good. It's on Hulu.
What's it called?
Candy.
I know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
She got like curly hair and shit.
Yeah. She looks goofy as shit,
Yeah.
but it's really good. It's really good. Then we watched The House of the Devil. That was the Joe Bob movie. Jeremiah had never seen it. I've seen The House of the Devil before, but never in Joe
Who
Bob's
was
style.
that directed by?
Ty West.
Yeah, that's the Ty West movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
That's the one that he did like the 80s style throwback.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
really good movie. And we watched Bubba Hotep.
I love Bubba Hotep.
Fucking hate that movie.
I love Bruce
I
Campbell.
really wanted to like it this time because I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this again, knowing full well that I've gotten less mature with age. And this movie sounds like a fucking riot. Like, I don't know why I didn't like it the last time. So I watched it again. It's because it falls flat on that amazing
Premise.
story
yeah.
that they've got there. I mean, like, they could have done so much with it, and they don't.
It's so funny because I just listened to the Straight Chillin' podcast. They just reviewed Troll 2.
Yeah.
And they're talking about it. I'm like, man, you're making me want to go back and rewatch this movie. Like, I missed some shit.
Dude, I've been
And, like,
listening to
I'm
it
like-
too,
I'm
but I
like-
haven't
but-
gotten to that one. Jeremiah just listened to that one, Troll 2. Their podcast on Troll.
Oh, is he listening to them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.
So like I'm thinking about rewatching because there's also a documentary that the kid made later
yeah,
on.
I watched that too.
and I'm like, I've never seen it, so I'm
should
like, I'm
watch
kind of interested in watching that.
if you're a fan of Troll 2 just because of how bad it is, which I am,
Yeah.
you should watch the documentary. It's really good.
I want to know about this fucking director because apparently he was a fucking prick.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
And he thought he was making he
Yeah.
thought he was making the best horror movie ever to be made. And so
my God.
No,
Oh
it's
my
like a
God.
6-second. Oh my god.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
If
popcorn?
Yeah.
you're directing this and you think that's going to be
No,
like-
he really thought he was making the best horror movie ever made.
And apparently,
with that
from
scene,
what I
like,
understood,
Any scene.
Yeah.
That popcorn scene. I mean,
and from what I understand, is apparently his wife had wrote it, and she wrote it because she was sick and tired of hearing her friends talk about how they were going vegetarian.
yeah,
So she made a movie essentially making fun of vegetarians.
yeah.
And I'm just like,
Which
this is
coulda-
what you
I mean,
came up
it's,
with?
It's a great premise because I mean, I get tired of hearing vegan, but like,
Meat.
but
I'm like that dude from Slytherin. Meat.
you could have done a little better, I guess, with it. That's all I got. That's all I watched.
I haven't watched a lot. I watched some more of Friends, but that's probably about it. I watched an episode of The Walking Dead. That's about it. We were really busy.
Yeah, we were. No, you watched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, I watched that too.
Because I watched
actually
bits and
watched
pieces
twice.
of it. It was on. I was like playing a game or whatever. And I kept turning around. I'm like watching the movie because if there's a movie on I like, I can't help but watch it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I
was
love
watching
Guardians of the
that.
Galaxy. It's a good movie.
But I started reading a book. You want to know what it's called?
I think I know what it's called.
What's it called?
I don't remember. Oh, is it The Killing Season or something?
No.
What is it?
Violent Season.
The Violent Season. That's what it is. Sorry.
It's actually really good. It's about every November these people they go crazy. They don't really go crazy, but everyone there just gets super violent. And so far I'm into the book, and these two kids, they're like their moms moved in from outside of town whenever they were like really young, and they both died. And the kids are their conspiracy is that it's because they're from outside of the town that they died. The moms did.
I read the premise of the book on the back of the cover, and it does sound pretty interesting. I was like, I could see this being made into a series.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting show.
It was cool though, so far. I'm only on chapter 4, so I guess we'll see. Anyways.
Get back into reading.
I don't read. I fall
I don't
asleep if
read.
I read.
Yeah.
I can listen to audiobooks all day, but I
The-
can't
The
read.
only book I ever got into was a child called it Dave Pelzer books. That was the only
Man,
kind of book.
that's a downer.
It's a big time downer.
I can't do books. If I read, man, I start falling asleep and dozing off.
Oh, I love to read.
That says a
Back
lot
into
about
it.
you.
Why does that say a lot about me? Does it make me dumb?
No.
Shut up. See what I gotta put up with?
I mean,
No respect, man.
Dude, you raised me.
That's what I was gonna say. You
No
raised
respect.
her.
I'm like Rodney Dangerfield around this bitch. No respect, I tell you.
I respect you.
I'm not,
You're my
I'm not a
dad.
big reader either.
I respect you so much. I want to be just like you.
No, you don't.
But I am.
I'm exhausted.
All the time,
All
tired.
the time tired.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm a busy dude. You don't want to be busy like me. You want to have it easy. Stay in school, kids. Don't do drugs. I never done drugs, but I'm just saying don't do them.
Anyways, this week's movie, right?
Let's talk about the movie.
Huh?
This week's movie is Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, it's rated PG-13. It runs an hour and it doesn't say
45 minutes.
45. That's what I said.
Imagine if he was
Anyways.
lesbian.
It's about the solitary life of
that long.
He is a lesbian.
the solitary life of an artificial man who was incompletely constructed and has scissors for hands is appended when he is taken in by a suburban family. Yeah. Anyways, top cast: Johnny Depp, Winona Ryder, love them. And Diane Weist and Anthony Michael Hall. That's the top 4. Do you want me to go through all the ladies?
No, you don't have to.
I didn't think so. Okay, and then the director is Tim Burton, of course, and writer is also Tim Burton and Caroline Thompson. Oh, so did you guys watch again?
I've seen this movie. I couldn't even tell you how many
Yeah.
times I've seen this
Right.
movie.
Times.
I've seen this movie. I've been watching this movie since I was a kid.
I
So-
will say though, on this watch, there was a lot of things I picked up on that I never picked up on before.
Same here. There was a lot of. I will get into it,
What
but
the fuck?
But like, there's a lot of things about this movie that I'm like, why did I like this movie? And it's a good movie, I guess, but I don't know. I'm not clamoring to watch it again. It's definitely one of Tim Burton's best ones, but it's one of those movies that I'm like, it's good, but it is poorly edited. But no, I don't think I'll be watching it again anytime soon. I would recommend somebody watch it though, for sure. This is definitely a must watch for anybody,
Oh,
especially if you're a fan of like, family movies or family horror movies or anything like that. Like, I would definitely recommend it. And if you're a Tim Burton fan of any kind,
yeah.
you would have to watch this movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't say you're a Tim Burton fan.
Yeah, if you've never seen this, you're not a Tim Burton fan.
Sorry.
So, but yeah, I think I would rewatch eventually, but not anytime
Couldn't
soon.
watch it right after.
No.
You gotta watch it.
It's probably been 5 or 10 years, probably even longer than that.
5
since I've
or
seen
10.
this.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine how long
Makes
it's been
sense.
since
Yeah,
I've
it's
seen
been a
it.
long time. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie, and
I think I was married last time I watched this. That's how
I was married this time when I watched it. But no, I don't. I probably won't watch it for another 5 or 10 years, to be honest with you.
All right.
I would watch again, probably in another 15 years or so.
15 years or so.
And I would recommend it. I mean, I guess my favorite thing about it is that it's a fairy tale told from the perspective of Tim Burton, and that's just an interesting concept on its own.
Yeah, it's a very weird fairy tale too.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yeah, I'd watch again, but it'd be, I wouldn't say 15 or 10 years. It'd probably be another.
I'd probably show it to my kids before that. but-
it'd probably be another 5 years or,
Or your
so.
kids.
You know,
Because they need some culture.
I'd watch it around Christmas time because it just feels like more like a Christmassy type.
Sure.
It definitely is
Yeah,
more of a
yeah.
Christmas movie, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's not a lot of snow in it, but the premise of
Yeah, the
Christmas is
premise.
there
Yeah.
and all that. So, and family and
Right.
Yeah.
you know acceptance and shit like that. So,
Yep.
Yep.
I think
So-
it's the underlying messages of the movie that are, because you know, if you take this movie at its face and you just like look at it from its face, you know, there's a guy with scissors for hands. It's a stupid movie,
it was a very stupid
but like
movie.
it's.
I was thinking about that. So I was like, how did you pitch this? Like,
Yeah, but like you know, if you look at it from the perspective of what it's supposed to be, it's a fairy tale, right?
right.
And I mean, if you look at it from that perspective and you just take it for that, it's a great movie and it's beautifully told, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah. What about you, Madison? Would you rewatch, or
It's my job to ask me that question.
I'm asking you for you. I'm asking you
We're
so
allowed
that
to ask
yourself
the
in the
host.
third-
you're allowed to ask the host.
Oh,
So
I am the host. The host can ask the host.
Talk.
I mean,
That'd be
if you want
weird.
to talk to yourself,
If you
it's-
need an
I-
aluminum
I'm
foil
I'm
hat,
going to tell you what my psychology professor told me.
Talk to
You
yourself in
can-
third person.
You can talk to yourself. You can even ask yourself questions.
it's whenever you
But
answer
if you
yourself.
if you ask yourself a question and then you go, "Huh?" You've got a problem.
I do that a lot.
I do that all the time.
You ask yourself a question and you go, "Huh?" Like,
I'll,
what did you say?
I'll ask myself, I'm like, huh? Like, probably because I'm so like, why am I asking that question? Like, you know?
No, as in like you didn't hear yourself.
Oh, yeah. No, that's different.
That's a problem.
I think I can hear myself most
Yeah.
of the time.
if you ask
Sometimes.
yourself a question, you went, "What did you say?" Like that's
What was
a
that?
problem.
I just did that the other day whenever I was walking to work. I was talking to myself and I was like, I gotta stop on my way back from the store to get Tristan a present, and I was like, I don't know what to get him, and I was like, wait, yeah, I do.
Worst part is when you tell yourself you need to go do something, you get up to go do it, and you start walking out, and you're like, wait, what the hell am I going to do?
Nah, that's just getting old, man. That's just part of getting old. That's called a brain fart.
How many times I do that? I'll be like,
I've been
leaving
doing
my
that since
bench
I
to
was
go cut
little.
something
Yeah, you've had a
out.
lot of brain farts in life.
You are a brain fart.
Yeah, probably.
Madison, would you watch again?
Oh yeah, of course.
She's got to ask herself.
What-
You,
no,
you
we're-
did
we're-
it again.
Sorry, Madison. Would you like to ask yourself a question?
Would you watch again?
What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Yeah, I would actually, because this movie is a lot better than I thought it was. Well, I've seen it before, but from what I remember it being, I used to like not have a great attention span for longer movies whenever I was little. I thought they were all boring,
I didn't think that. Like,
unless it was Ninja
I was
Turtles.
surprised when I saw the runtime.
Yeah, I was like, she's like, how long is this? I was like, I think it's like a 2-hour movie.
It was an hour 40.
But it was an hour 45. I was
No,
like,
I mean, like,
I know, I was
surprised at
thinking
how
like,
long
but
it
I was, but
like,
then again, I'm like, I
an
felt
hour.
like it should have been a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I felt like it was shorter. Like back in the day when I would watch this, I'm like, hour and a half. Maybe.
That just shows how much of an attention span we had. We could watch something for that long without being like, squirrel, you know, or anything stupid like that. Like we could sit.
Well, I
Kids
watched-
nowadays
I
can't
watched
sit
it-
still for
I
that
watched
long.
it this time like that too. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the time that's passed since I've seen it, but
Yeah, I would watch again. Yeah. You guys
would
all
you
accept
recommend? You
what
wanna
I
ask
recommend-
yourself that question.
Yeah. Do you want to ask yourself if you'd recommend?
It doesn't say that.
I don't even think I answered it.
Would you recommend?
it to other people?
I'm pretty sure everybody knows what it is.
I guess so, man. Apparently,
Apparently, we can't just addend.
yeah.
You know, Would you recommend it to other people?
Huh?
Would you recommend to other people?
Yeah, I tell everybody to watch it.
See, the host has to say it.
Apparently.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't listen.
Would
to
you recommend?
Karen.
Yeah. I mean, even though I'm pretty
break
sure.
that finger, I'll bite right off.
Scary you.
Sweet cool way.
Yeah, I would probably recommend, even though most people probably already know what the movie is. Probably.
Yeah, if you don't know what Edward Scissorhands is at this point,
You're totally
and you've
cool.
well, if you know what it is and you haven't watched it, then it's likely that you just don't want to watch it.
And you suck.
It's not your cup of tea, I guess.
Yeah.
Because this is like almost the most Tim Burton that Tim Burton has gotten. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Honestly, yeah, really.
it really is. Like this and like Beetlejuice
I was
are.
gonna say, I would argue that Beetlejuice is more because of those sculptures.
I guess
and,
so.
like,
Yeah,
I mean, like,
Beetlejuice is very much Tim
like
Burton.
this is very suburban, and you
True,
only get
yeah.
Tim Burton and doses.
Well, in this, you only get Tim Burton really up in the castle.
Well, in the castle,
castle is
and
his
with
bread and butter.
Edward, I mean, you get him
Yeah.
in doses, but like
The
in
devil bush.
Beetlejuice, it's everywhere.
It is everywhere.
The
Yeah.
double
everywhere.
bush.
Yeah, the devil.
Was that? We had a question. Was that thing given the finger? It looked like it was like straight up giving the
I
finger,
don't
man.
think so.
I don't
saw
think
horns.
I caught that. Yeah,
I know I saw
horns
the
in
horns,
eyes.
but it looked
Yeah.
like it had his hands up, and he
It
was just
looked
like,
like little-
you know.
Yeah,
Was?
it looked like little fingers.
It looked like it. I don't know.
know.
It might not have been. It just looked like it to
I
me.
don't remember seeing that.
I was like,
gonna
I had to
look it
rewind it. I had to go back, and I was like, was it though? And I was like, I don't know. I guess you could say it was. I was like, maybe it was a little hidden gem. I don't fucking know. Like,
That'd be awesome if it was.
I feel like I would have seen that if it was a thing.
I'd
but-
never seen it before. I just happened to catch it this time. Maybe I might be wrong though. I don't know.
All right, you
She
guys.
definitely-
let's
Maybe that's
talk
just
about
what I
the movie.
wanted it to be
Oh, she
doing.
definitely deserved it.
Yeah, she definitely.
And I can't find any images.
Or
for
even if it
her.
was like giving the devil horns, like yeah, you know,
Yeah, I don't know.
Ozzy Osbourne, baby, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, better if Ozzy would have popped out of the bush.
Bit
We're-
the bed off
the
of
bed.
bed.
And then
Hey.
ran into the.
Hey, we're talking about the movie now.
Yeah, we have
Oh,
been.
yeah.
yeah, we kind
I
Did
of.
you
was
write
just-
down
I
the?
was
Are you
just
been
making
writing
it
down the
right into
times?
clear.
I haven't.
Because I noticed you weren't writing down.
I haven't. I haven't
so
wrote down
sorry.
any times.
Right now is when we're starting to talk about the movie, Joseph.
Yeah.
So you
All
can
right.
at least get that one.
I
in
haven't.
there.
Yeah, I haven't wrote any of it down. So
Yeah.
that sucks. It's gonna be more editing time for me.
Sorry.
At least you all have something to do.
I will say, this is not like my favorite Tim Burton movie. I think I'm with you. I like Beetlejuice a lot more, but this is my favorite of the Danny Elfman compositions. The music in this is beautiful,
I do like
It
the
is very
music.
pretty, yeah.
especially the
It
ice
is very
dance.
pretty, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that's true.
beautiful.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I just think that, like I said, I think that the movie is poorly edited. I think that the editing of this movie makes it almost as if the actors didn't know what they were doing in a way. Like, obviously, like Johnny Depp kills it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he's fucking funny, charismatic, and he don't even have to talk that
The
much.
fucking alcohol scene.
Yeah, dude. I think I even wrote that down though. But yeah, that part was really fucking
I
funny.
forgot all
Wait,
about
should
that.
we should probably talk about these movies in like a linear
We just kinda-
path.
Like through the movie.
Yeah, through. The
I've thought about
movie.
doing that, like
I
talking
don't know.
about the movie as we go.
We go all over the place. But
We do, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
Thumbs up.
I know. If it never, like, I just have to ask this question: if it never snowed before, how did they know to put fake snow on their roofs? And
it's just never snowed there before.
oh, is that? Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah.
that's what-
No, because that's the fairy tale. Is that's where snow comes from. That's the whole point.
For
where
them,
snow
maybe their
comes
little
from.
town
In
only
their
exists in their
town,
little
yeah.
world.
No, it's
I don't
a fairy
know.
tale. So that means that's where snow comes from for
I
everyone.
don't think that's how that works, Karen.
That's how. That's what fairy tales are.
Because
Fairy tales
it says
tell-
they live in the suburbans, so there's other places.
Well, yeah,
than
suburban
suburbs.
places are everywhere. We
Yeah.
have suburbs here.
Exactly.
I kind of live in a suburb.
But-
There's more than one
Country
suburban
suburb.
place in the whole world, right?
Right, but what I'm saying is that like fairy tales tell the story of like where something comes from for everyone.
Yeah.
So if this is a fairy tale, then,
Then
it
this
means it's
world
for
would exist
everyone.
within itself. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is like, so I wrote down, so for who knows, or so shit. So far, who knows how long he lived there, up there, and no one ever saw him or get curious. Like nobody ever went up there. Like
I know. I
like
thought,
that really bothers me that you got this giant castle up on this hill and nobody's ever went up there.
Well, and like when the inventor died, like somebody had to miss him. Like who went up there to get his body? Like who,
Yeah, like-
you know, like.
There's a lot of things about this whole story that I'm like, okay, there's a lot of flaws in this.
Well, there is, and I think that it's just. I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of flaws because I wrote them down too, and they kind of bother me. But I think at the same time, you're not supposed to dwell on them too much because it's a fairy tale. You know, like you're.
I understand that.
I know. I get it too. I'm not defending it.
Right.
I'm just saying that that's the idea that I get. You know, like when you're watching a Disney movie or whatever with your kids, and as an adult you're watching it and going, but that doesn't make any sense because of this. But your kids over there like, this is amazing. You know, I think that that's the whole point of this is that, like, you know, as an adult you're watching it and your kids are watching it, they're loving it, you're loving it too, but you're seeing the flaws. But I think you're supposed to.
Maybe. I don't know. This is why I think it's just. Sometimes I think it's poorly written and poorly edited because I'm just like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, but why? You know, or how? You know, like, so you're telling me he's been up there for all these years? I get it. He doesn't eat.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's
Or he
technically.
doesn't have to. I
Yeah,
get
he's
it.
technically a
Don't need to.
machine. But again, why the fuck did he have scissor hands?
Well,
What?
yeah.
Like, why does he have scissor hands?
Why? Yeah. Why did he have to make?
Why
it
did he?
scissor
Yeah,
hands?
why can he just have nubs?
Or why
until
couldn't he just put hands on him to begin with?
Yeah, like why does he have scissor hands? And why? There's a lot of things that I'm
Well,
like.
it could have been worse.
And why does he look
could've-
like every fucking every dominatrix's wet dream? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, it could have been worse. He could have based him on the cookie cutter feet people instead of the
that's true.
Oh,
Edward cookie cutter feet. Edward cookie cutter feet.
At least he can make snow with those. I
Yeah.
mean, like, what's he gonna do with those?
Yeah,
feet?
but he can make cookies with his feet.
Yeah.
You know,
How's
those,
he-
those things probably bug me the most out of the whole movie because you watch those.
Yeah, they're
things-
like,
Yeah, and then you see those cookies coming out, and you're going, "That's not how
Yeah.
That's not how that came out. That's not how they
Yeah.
would come out. That's not."
Then you're like looking at it, I'm like,
land like that.
I'm like, you're telling me this thing makes perfect cookies every time, even though it is so goddamn flawed.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like this thing picks up this egg, pulls it over, and then a hammer hits it. You're like, you're telling me there's never any shell
Hey,
in those
it's
cookies,
a fairy tale.
right? Right. And then it get like it's got them feet walking across, and I'm like, no.
Well, what cracked me up was I watched those feet, and so you know they come down perfectly once, but then it's like this. the
Yeah.
rest of
Then
the
it's like
time.
this,
and it's like
flopping all over the place.
And Vincent Price is just sitting there like, yeah, yeah.
It's like, cookies. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's also a victim of the time though, because like
Oh,
you
for
know
sure,
what I mean.
yeah.
Like when that movie came out and everything, these weren't things I guess that maybe people would be too keen on pointing out or bitching
right?
about.
Yeah.
Again, not defending it because that bugged this shit out of me. The fucking feet coming
Yeah, the
down,
cookie
I'm like,
machine really bothered me. I was like, this giant fucking machine doing something that my mom
And then it cut.
could do out of a box in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
then it cut to
The
the next
big
scene, and you could tell people were
machines-
stamping it down.
Yeah.
What killed me was like he had this big ass fucking machine that just cracked one tiny egg.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
I'm a-
giant
I'm a-
machine
I'm
that
a
looks like a
sucker.
giant bloated like person.
Yeah.
Crack
Like a
one
pre-
egg.
pressure
And then
cooker.
behind it is a celery cutter. What the
For
hell is
what
the
reason?
celery for?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe they did like salads on the side or something.
I don't know.
He doesn't get company. Why does he even
Yeah.
need that much
Why does
light?
he need
that's,
that?
That's what I'm saying. Like somebody cared about the inventor. There was like a food company or somebody paying him.
They would have to be
Somebody- yeah, that's what I'm
endorsing
saying.
him some way.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody's paying him to do this stuff. Like he's not just making.
He's not a very good
this
inventor either. I don't know how the
salad
fuck he's so rich.
Well, yeah, and I love a good Rube Goldberg machine, and I love that Tim Burton puts him in almost all of his movies. But that one just wasn't a very good one.
It was
I guess
really
is all
bad.
I'm saying. You know.
I couldn't get behind. I did love the style of the machine, and I thought it looked
Well,
cool
yeah,
because
I
it's
mean,
a Tim
it's-
Burton. It was very
yeah.
Tim Burton-esque.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was just kind of like one of those things. It's like, why though? You know?
Why?
Yeah.
And then you would think that like he would have saw something part of that machine that like he's like, I could make a boy out of this. No, he turns around to the fucking celery cutter. The celery cutter back here cutting celery, which is used for what? Is he
The
making
salads, I already told you.
celery and salads?
I thought it was lettuce.
No, it was celery.
That's a celery.
It was celery.
It was celery?
Yeah,
I thought it was
because
lettuce, too.
whenever I
Don't feel
first
bad. I thought it was lettuce.
I first noticed it whenever he was like picking like, and you could see the machine, and he's like watching the machine, and I was like, is that celery behind him? Why is there celery back there?
I thought it
And
was
then he
lettuce,
turns around
too.
and picks up the heart and puts it up to the machine that's cutting the celery. And I'm like, why? Why are you cutting celery? What's the celery for? Is it celery cookies? Like, is there celery in the cookies?
I told you, there's some food company paying him. There has to be.
They're losing
Yeah,
their
yeah.
asses then.
Okay, here's my thought process on the Scissorhands. Did you see his garden? Maybe he just needs somebody to cut his garden for him.
No, because in the end product, he was supposed to have hands, like normal
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah, but for the meantime.
Oh,
he's-
no, yeah, yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
put scissors on you to make you fucking useful around here until I get your hands done. Like, you will get out there and garden.
And
my
then, of
fucking-
course, he died as soon as he, like, showed him the hands. Why would he show him the hands?
Why does it have to be a
He
Christmas
didn't know
gift
he was gonna
anyway?
Die, I guess.
I don't know. I think that I had a lot of questions about the garden too, because like I'm like, so he's got a garden, but where does he get all the flower seeds and stuff? Like
Maybe they were already like if they're the kind that come up all like every
Perennials?
year.
Yeah,
and
we
stuff,
had
like
ours out
annuals
there.
and perennials.
Yeah.
I got some flowers that come up every year.
Yeah, but his flowers were like the type that you buy, plant, and they die and they don't come back the next year.
I don't know what the difference is. So you don't
There's
me.
perennials and
No,
there's
I'm saying,
annuals.
like if I looked at them,
They were the type that would die and not come back the next year.
okay, I wouldn't
So
know that.
like
though.
roses come back the next year.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't
you
know
know.
that though. So if I was watching this movie, you could fool me.
Yeah, right. I guess it's a very
That's
minor
what I'm
detail.
saying.
It's a very minor detail.
That's all I'm
but-
getting at.
But like even then, you're like, so this guy's been up here like chopping up trees and all this stuff and all that. I was like, and then these people are down there living their normal lives, and they've never been curious. And like, not even the kids have been like, oh, I dare you to
Dude,
go
I'm
up
telling
there
you, if that castle was in my neighborhood, I'd be up there all the time.
all the time.
yeah.
It's
All
just
the
like the
time.
house behind Grandma's house.
Oh yeah, I'd be up there all the time. All the time.
I would definitely be checking that place out. Like
Throw
that is the
rock-
creepiest looking place.
You'd-
Let's go look at
Yeah,
it.
Let,
You know,
no,
Check
you'd
it
be
out.
like, let's go throw rocks at it.
or
Come
whatever.
on, gang. Let's go.
Yeah, it's the Goonies or some shit. You know,
Yeah, no shit.
knowing our luck, it'd be a Pennywise situation. Damn it! Never get the cool.
I knew it would be Pennywise. I told you.
Not Edward Scissorhands or anything cool like that. Someone that
just
would be
knew
our
it.
friend. No, the guy that wants to eat us instead.
Who would that have been? That would have been Matt. Matt
Yeah.
would have been the one. I told you guys it was going to be Pennywise. I knew it. Oh man. So Peg, or not Peg, but Joyce. Her husband is not doing her justice or something.
Who, the redhead lady?
Yeah.
I fucking hate that
Oh
lady.
man.
Well,
I
no
hate her.
shit.
I
but,
could
like,
not stand her,
She's
dude.
not getting it
The
enough.
plumber
because,
didn't
like,
want
holy
nothing
fuck.
to do with her.
Yeah, even the plumber was like,
He's like,
dude,
fuck, bitch.
you're freaking
Leave
me
alone.
out. Like, even
I-
Edward is like, you're old
I
enough to
mean,
be my mommy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, like, her husband's got to get a handle on that.
He's a jackass anyway, too.
Holy shit.
I didn't even know she was married. I was like, I was watching it this. I'm like, fuck, was she married? Like, I can't remember if
Of
she
course
was
she
married.
was married. That there was a whole. That's a whole trope there.
I know it is, but I'm like, but maybe she's
Like
like,
how
well,
all the husbands show up.
Yeah, they
but
all
then
show up
again-
at the same time. They'll leave at the same time.
yeah. Well, then you've got the religious lady. Like, where's her husband at? Is she married?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. They
We
just,
never-
they didn't show. They showed a picture though, like on the. Well, maybe that wasn't her husband though. I don't know.
I don't know either. So
I would
She might have
assume
been
just
the
because
only
of.
single one
because
there.
she's in the neighborhood and,
Yeah.
and they all have husbands.
Yeah,
and
and she
wives.
doesn't work. None of them work. So
Right.
the only one that worked
Maybe
was
she
Peg,
worked for the
and
church. I don't know. She definitely
maybe
volunteers
she was
there.
an organ.
Get it, Oregon dinner.
Peg, she looked like a Barbie whenever she was talking. She was like, really? Oh. She kept moving her hands all funny in the beginning.
Who?
Whenever she was trying to sell her product, she kept going like this with her hands and moving with her elbows and stuff like a Barbie would.
Oh, that's a lot of times sellers will use their hands to kind of try to.
Like
Yeah.
Barbies?
Grab your
Promote
focus
it,
and
yeah.
like promote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
like
yeah.
Barbies.
Well,
I know
I
what
mean,
you're talking about
your
because like when she
face.
said like accent your face or what like
Yeah.
when she
To
said
accent your
Yeah,
face.
It's
It's-
like Eric said, it's a selling technique. It's
Yeah.
how they
To
they
look
draw,
like a Barbie,
They
I'd
draw
start
your
laughing.
attention. They draw your attention.
Well, she
to,
probably
like,
done it so
certain
many
things.
times that she's just.
Well, she's probably.
It's like she's like a robot when
she's
doing it at this
She's
point.
wearing the product, so she's trying to show where
Yeah.
the product's at.
And I think you mentioned that Johnny Depp like kills it. I think Diane Wiest kills it.
Oh, for sure, dude. She's awesome.
She's amazing.
So her husband is also very oblivious.
He's great though.
He is.
He's awesome.
He's very oblivious. Like he said, he like
my favorite scene with him is when they're in the restaurant and he comes in and he sits down and he's like, "Well, how was it?" He's like, "Well, she took off all of her clothes."
Yeah, she showed me.
He just keeps talking.
And they're all looking at her like looking at him like, "What?"
Dad, did you just hear? They're just like, and Dad just keeps on talking.
He's trying to avoid the.
He's like, "Well, that's great.
I don't think that he.
I'm glad you had a productive
Yeah,
day."
he did not know. He was.
I don't think he was paying any attention to what Edward said. He was just
Well,
like,
he
"Oh,
was
that's
on,
great."
He's on top of the roof nailing all that snow and shit on, and he's chasing Edward off by yelling at him and telling him he's a piece of shit essentially.
Yeah,
and he gets up like, "Hey, Edward, where are you going, Edward?
Where you going, Ed?
Where are you going, Ed?" And it's like, dude, you just heard him yell at him.
If my boyfriend talked to somebody in our backyard like that, Dad would jump off the roof and knock a fucker out.
Yeah.
Like,
with his body.
With his body.
I'm like, "Hey, who the fuck are you to tell anybody what to do around here?
Like,
Why don't you get the fuck out of here?"
Living at my house.
yeah, like my
Like,
dad
I'm
would jump
trying
off
to-
the roof to take care of business.
You'd be lucky if I
Like-
didn't throw something at you from the roof. He's
Take
holding a
a
stapler.
hammer.
Stapler.
Yeah, he's holding a stapler, dude.
You throw the stapler.
I thought
Hey,
that-
motherfucker.
Yeah. Who are you to throw people
Fucking
out of my
just start
house?
Shooting him with a stapler.
Yeah.
Fuck getting down the rip.
I will staple your nuts to my wall. Fuck around.
Why would they? Speaking of him living there, why would they have the guy with fucking scissors on his hands sleep in the waterbed?
That's what I was saying.
And
What
okay,
is that
so
about?
he pokes a hole in it like first
time-
thing,
yeah.
and then
He covers
puts
it up.
He puts a like stuffed animal on
That
it.
scene was great, though.
And yeah,
So good.
but
He's like,
then,
The water would
but
be
then
out of it by
but the
the
water
time
would
he
be
laid
out of
there.
it, and he lays in it later, and it's fine. Like, did they patch it? Like,
they
what?
would had to have.
They would have had to have. Like,
As soon as he would have laid down, you would have seen fucking guys.
I don't know if have you guys anybody here ever owned a waterbed before?
I wanted
I've
one
never-
whenever
I've
I was
never
little.
owned
They're
one.
fucking terrible.
They are.
They are so terrible to take care of,
Yeah.
to sleep on.
Yeah.
They're not fun.
No.
You
They're-
had one?
Yeah, I had one when I was young, and it was I hated it. Even as a child, I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you keep fish in it?
no.
Oh, dang it.
And what is it with Johnny Depp and
around
waterbeds?
No.
What is it with him and waterbeds, man? He's got a thing with beds. He's got a thing with beds, and Amber Heard had a thing with shitting in them.
Okay, so
That'd be
what are you
perfect.
talking about him with waterbeds?
Huh?
What are you talking about with him with waterbeds?
Well, his bed in Nightmare on Elm Street was
I
a
thought that's what
waterbed,
you were talking about. No.
wasn't it?
No, Joey's
It
bed
was
was
a
the
blood-
waterbed.
I know Joey's was, but I thought his was a waterbed
No,
too.
his wasn't
He
a
just got
waterbed.
pulled
He
into
just
the
got
bed?
pulled into the bed.
It was a
Okay, well, he's still got a weird thing with
bed.
beds,
Yeah, he does. He's got a thing with beds in his movies, apparently.
and in real life, apparently.
Well, I think it was it was the world was trying to tell him something about his wife.
I think so. Like, dude, one day
One day, beds are
This will
gonna
be the
play
death
a
of you
pivotal role
in your life,
your
yeah.
life.
Whenever you come home and you find a turd on your bed,
That's
you
the
will
turning
know
point.
that is the point in life where you're done.
Hey, you're done.
Oh god.
Sorry,
Oh,
Johnny.
man.
So, oh, go ahead.
You're
Sorry.
past your prime,
Why-
buddy.
Why is it in like every before 90s, between the 90s and 2010s, like every Christmas movie that they tell the story and the child's always sitting in this big comfortable bed with all these pillows sitting so uncomfortably.
I think that has a lot to do. That's part of the trope of the movie. So it's supposed
All
to be her.
movies are like
I know,
that.
but like in this case, Tim Burton very much did that on purpose. You could tell. Like the whole point was that
I think it's supposed to give you like a forced perspective as well.
yeah, it's supposed to be like put you in the mindset of that child, like feel as comfortable as they feel, and
They
listen to the
didn't
story.
look
They're
comfortable.
They're telling you a story that they're telling, which is a fairy tale. And this has been done in several movies. Remember, they did it in Princess Bride. Kids laying in bed, they tell them a bedtime story. It's usually a fairy tale. Just the way it is.
Does
Well,
that
I think
sitting
what she's
position-
talking about though is that like the huge bed and that tiny little girl in it. And I think it's supposed to give you a forced perspective too. It's supposed to give you like this look at the grandmother to look sort of frail and small, in this room to look kind of smallish, and the little girl to be kind of your focal point in this giant bed. What his meaning was in that, I couldn't tell you really, but I think that that's supposed to draw your attention at the little girl, is what I think it's supposed to do.
It was drawing more.
It's
of
very
my
much an
attention.
artistic choice.
Yeah.
it was drawing more of my attention on how uncomfortable
You know
that
what?
position
You know what
was.
trope always drove me nuts when you're talking about tropes like that, and I get what you're saying, was that every kid in movies back then, and even today, it's still a thing, had their own bathroom. Bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't know any
yeah.
kid had their own fucking bathroom.
I
One
definitely did
bathroom.
have my own bathroom.
No, I don't even have my own fucking bathroom now.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean,
Bullshit.
technically, I don't either. Everybody shits in it. We have 2 bathrooms,
Well, we have 2 bathrooms too, but like neither one of them's just mine.
right? I'm a grown ass an adult, and I don't even have my
I
own
pay the
bathroom.
fucking mortgage. I have my own
Right?
toilet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're paying the bills around this bitch. Why don't I get my own?
I got one bathroom.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
Oh god, it
That should be
sucks.
your bathroom, though. Go shit outside.
yeah.
Here's some fucking toilet. Use
Theodore.
a leaf.
Theodore is terrible. As soon as anybody, as soon as they go in that bathroom, he's at that door. I gotta pee. I gotta pee. I gotta pee.
So the scene where the dad is like trimming the hedges, and Edward comes up and he's like mimicking him.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's checking to see if it's okay.
Yeah, he's like snip, snip, and he looks over. Like,
It has to be that he's checking to see if it's okay
Probably.
because he knows what to do.
yeah,
Obviously,
because he's done it at his
He
own.
probably doesn't
Yeah.
want to overstep. Yeah, overstep.
Yeah, that's what but you know, he doesn't ask. He can obviously ask. So it's kind of like, what is he doing? Like he knows he can. First of all, he's done it 1,000 times.
Yeah,
So is he checking to see if it's okay?
I
Because he
think
doesn't wait
that's what
for-
it is.
He doesn't wait for like, go ahead. He just does
Just
it.
goes for it.
Yeah.
Why did Peg think it was a good idea to go and bring makeup products to an old, creepy, abandoned-looking mansion?
Yeah, I wanted to get there too.
I think that
Like-
she had already sold to everybody and she was kind of desperate.
Yeah, I think it was a
Yeah,
very
but-
much of desperate moment. Of,
I mean, you look up.
well,
this
I've never
house,
tried that house. You know.
Right.
This
It
rotting
look-
house.
Yeah, it looks
Like-
abandoned from where
That
they're
would be the first
standing.
place I'd go to. Whoever lives there needs a makeover.
And she didn't
And
know
a good
people
paint
lived
job.
there.
You walk. I mean,
She-
as soon as
she
you
didn't
walk in the
know
Buy
door-
that
anybody
castle
lived
myself
there.
and fix it up. I really would.
Like
I love
you
them.
see the rotting house, and then she walks into the garden.
Well, my thing too is like, you know, if you look up at that house, it has no roof.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, nobody
Yeah.
lives
It
there.
looks like no
you know,
one
like in
lives
my
there.
mind,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
if
somebody
I lived
does,
in that
but-
neighborhood and I've never seen anybody come or go, and it's
Maybe,
missing a roof, obviously nobody's
It's
living
like
there.
driving by the.
And if whoever's living there, probably don't want to be
And maybe
associated
that's
with
about
me.
makeup.
Wait, maybe
Yeah.
that's
You know.
maybe that's the moral of the
So-
story. Visit the houses that look like there's no one there,
So
and
just
maybe
drive
you'll
in the
find.
country.
I've seen way too many
Scissorhands.
horror movies for that.
Hey, just drive in the country and see those old abandoned, rundown homes.
And we stop and we say,
Just-
"Hello, Avon lady."
Yeah, see if Edward lived there.
Avon lady.
Avon calling.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, and then the fucking banjos start playing.
Yeah.
Run.
Fucking run,
Run.
Billy Bob, we got another one.
Run.
You hear that guy
Coming
from
after us,
Wrong
Billy.
Turn? He was
Wrong turn guy walks out. Nope, wrong house. Bye.
Get the lasso. Let's go.
Yeah.
laughing.
So the part, so he cuts all their hair, right?
Yeah.
Oh
And-
god,
God.
those haircuts.
I'm like, dude, why did he turn them all into Whoville fucking characters,
I
man?
literally
Like,
put that. I said,
they all look like Dr. Seuss characters.
yeah.
Did you see the
Mayor
the duck?
Whoville haircut?
Yeah, I did. I know I pointed that out. I was like, why is her hair a duck?
Dude, I had to rewind it. Jeremiah didn't see it. I'm like, you see the duck? He's
Yeah.
like, what duck? I'm like,
You see
The duck!
Yeah.
Hey, did you see the lady with the present on her head?
yeah, the fucking,
Yeah,
the
she had the
fucking
box.
square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The box. I was like, what
There's
the
so many stupid haircuts.
Like
Like,
I said,
in that
Ma-
haircut scene.
And they're like,
Mayor,
oh,
Mayor
I love
Whoville
it.
haircut.
Yeah, the haircut scene, like, we're watching it and they just get progressively stupider. But I said, I think there's one where, like, there's a stripe down the middle. And that was the last fucking one. I told you.
Oh, the one where, like, this
yeah,
buzz
I
down
said,
the
I
middle?
think there's, like, a buzz.
That's the
There's
Mayor
one that's
Whoville.
just, like, a down the middle. And he's like, nah. I'm like, seriously, I think
They
there
get really
is.
bad.
And then, like,
And they
it
all
gets-
think it's just the hippest thing.
Yeah, the only one that even looked remotely cool was the one that had like the water fountain, where it was like all short, and then she had like these, like.
Oh, yeah, I
Straight-
didn't even like that.
No, I'm saying it remotely.
I don't
I'm
know.
not
I think
saying
he
it
did okay on,
Peg.
like, the lady's hair.
was- Yeah, Peg's hair always.
Peg's
looked
hair
good.
looked
I like
good.
Peg's
And then the
hair.
lady, the red-haired lady, whenever he did
It
her
was
hair
so-
Oh
initially,
yeah, she had like that.
that looked
If
If
fine.
she
that
would have
looks
never
fine.
styled it, then it wouldn't have looked good.
Right.
Speaking of haircuts, did you guys notice Edward's hair when she was doing his makeup on his face? He looked like a fucking Yorkie dog. He did. I was cracking up.
His facial expressions sell that moment
Oh, for
so much.
His
Like,
facial expressions sell a lot of moments in this
Oh
movie.
yeah, he's like,
and it's very just like timid voice. And,
And I
like,
like how she.
oh yeah,
And he's like.
Him trying,
yeah.
him trying to put on clothes for.
He was
first
the
time.
only. He was the
He
best.
was trying his damnedest to get this
He was
clothes
like-
on.
He was trying. Would you like help? Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
He's definitely
Oh, he sold it.
Johnny Depp. This is the movie that put Johnny Depp, I think.
It was
on
his first, and
major-
I got such good trivia
Trivia.
about it too, like
Yeah.
how he was so
We'll
nervous
get there.
and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But I know I like how everyone had a doctor friend that could help him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nobody
told
ever
him.
put nobody
Nobody.
ever
Had,
made any
you
moves
never
to,
met
like,
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I had a doctor friend that could help him, like that would be my first thing. I'd be like, I think I have somebody that can help you.
Then it
Hey Bob,
happens.
you're
Come
never
meet
gonna
this
believe
guy.
this.
Yeah, come meet this guy.
Yeah, like that would be the first move I make.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. I thought that was kind of like everybody's like, yeah, I got a guy that could probably help you. Like, who the fuck is this
Then
guy?
call him.
Who's
Call
this
him.
guy? This
Yeah.
guy's probably sitting at home like, how come I never get invited to cookouts?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
The guy-
I bet there's a guy there that might need my help. You know what I mean? Like,
Right?
I'm a hand specialist.
I'm a hand
after
specialist.
all.
I put new hands on people. I taught that guy in the mansion everything he knows. You know?
So Anthony Michael Hall turned into the guy that always beat him up in the '80s movies.
Oh yeah, for
Isn't that
sure.
amazing?
Yeah. I love that part. He's like, I give my left nut to see that again.
I remember seeing this for the first time and seeing Anthony Michael Hall and going, "Is that Farmer Ted? Is that fucking Farmer Ted?"
Yeah.
And
I'm like, I never realized who he was until like I was a little bit older, like a teenager, and I was like, holy fuck, that's the guy from like all the 16
Weird
Candles,
Science.
fucking Breakfast Club.
Which
like,
I've actually talked to a few people about this, and you've seen those movies too. So he played a nerd in all those movies, right?
yeah,
But
that's usually
weird-
what he plays.
Weird Science, especially, and even 16 Candles. If that guy went to our high school, he'd be one of the cool kids.
Oh, he'd be one of the coolest dudes. Yeah, for sure.
How
yeah.
come he was a nerd in these movies?
Because
though?
it was the 80s.
Look how fucking
It was the
funny.
80s.
When he gets drunk in Weird Science.
Yeah, it's the 80s, dude.
You
Like,
don't even have a license, Lisa. Give me the keys.
it's been so long since I've seen that movie.
That movie's so good. Anyway.
Okay. So,
Give me the keys.
How did he have the heart memory of his grandpa, like, coming up with the idea of him? How did he have that memory if he wasn't even, if that was the moment he was even thought of?
he's a machine. Are you
So?
okay? I think Karen's dying.
Jeez.
She's dying.
Laughing, so I keep laughing because we're talking about Weird Science. Give me the keys.
God damn it.
Sorry. That part's really funny. Oh, anyway.
Give me keys.
Give me the keys.
You should watch that. Just that part
Fucking
alone is
lover.
hilarious.
So-
Fucking lover boy.
So the part at the so at the end, whenever they chase him back up to the mansion and stuff, and he kills that kid, and he falls out the window.
Fucking deserved it.
Oh, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Anthony Michael Hall. I mean, I think after the 80s, that's all they wanted him to play was a piece of shit because he was a
Yeah.
piece of shit in the Halloween movie too.
Well, but like his I didn't understand like his leather jacket looked stupid as shit.
It did, and then it said "mom."
Mom and dad.
Oh, is it mom and dad? And then it was like "mom," like
Yeah,
like
M-U-M,
English
yeah.
M-U-M. I was like, what? Why?
Yeah. Like who picked your clothes?
But
up?
like whenever he died, and like all of the residents of the town came out like, "Oh my god, he's dead!" And then like whenever she comes out, like they killed each other. They're like, "We're going home," and then like they just walk away. Like, hold on, there's a dead child on the ground.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Like,
But that's very kind of on brand for them.
maybe I don't know about that though. Like seeing a dead person and then just walking away.
Yeah, Joyce and her crew it is.
That's ridiculous to me, man. I'm like, that is a little
high school
unrealistic.
The only one that I think had a heart out of her crew was the one that ran out when they robbed Jim's house and the cops were about to shoot him. And she runs outside and she's like, no, those are his hands.
Which one?
The
The,
one-
one that's
The one with the
always
poofy hair.
Yeah, the
poofy
one
hair?
that had the poofy hair and the smokers.
Yeah,
was-
yeah.
the one
She
with
was the only one that I
one-
think had a heart at all. Because even after everybody turned on him, she was the only one that was like, still, like, not defending, but like, trying to stop people from
The one that
doing
had the hair
Right.
bad
curlers in
things.
the beginning.
No, that was the that was the heavier set lady.
Yeah. I don't remember which one, but she had
Yeah.
a smoker's like voice,
Yeah.
and she had like really poofy curly hair.
Oh, okay.
What's
okay.
that movie? It's where the kids house arrest.
Where they
Yeah,
lock
it's
the
a
kids in the
long time
basement?
since
No,
I've
they
seen-
lock.
Or they locked the
parents
parents in the basement?
Oh yeah,
She was one.
Yeah.
One of the parents.
Oh, was
Yeah,
she?
she was. She was
I've
the
seen that
bully's
movie in a long
mom.
time.
Yeah.
She was the bully's mom.
Yeah.
She was the one who quit smoking by the end of the
Yeah.
movie. That was a good movie.
It was good.
I like that movie.
I liked when Joyce offered him lemonade, and he's like, lemonade.
Lemonade.
Yeah.
And then he hurls.
Yeah. I had another question. So at the end, he's like carving ice sculptures and stuff. Where the
How's
fuck
this
did he get the
different?
ice?
I thought the same thing. Like, I'd like to know where he's getting.
This
his
is what I'm
ice
saying.
deliveries.
How's
There's
this
You
fucking
don't know. Maybe he
continuity
has a
issues.
big
Question.
freezer full of ice. Maybe he gets imported from.
How did he
Italy.
get him up to his attic without
Maybe
hands?
some moving
I am
guy.
also,
Movie
even
magic.
though I'm poking holes at all of this, I'm also okay with just the answer being it's a fairy tale.
Right? That would all. That's the only answer.
It is. It's the only answer, and I'm okay with that being the answer. To be honest.
Okay, I got something. The creepy old guy in the garage.
Oh yeah. I'm like, what the fuck?
He was the same guy that told him. He was the same guy that told him, "Don't let him tell you have a handicap."
Yeah, don't tell him that you have a handicap. Don't let him tell you that.
And then he's like,
Then he's
did
like,
they catch him?
Did they catch
The guy with the
creepy boy?"
handicap.
Yeah,
Yeah, the cripple.
The cripple.
Yeah,
yeah,
Let me
Yeah,
know
what a
if they
dick.
do.
yeah.
Just goes to
He's
show
just
how
creepy as
two-faced
shit.
people like that can be.
Well, and I think that was
that whole neighborhood was too.
Oh,
that
they're
was,
fucked
that was
up,
sort of
yeah.
the underlying message for the suburbs.
Stop being two-faced.
Essentially.
God.
Yeah, I think that.
very nosy
Annoying.
and
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They have nothing
Nosy,
better to do. You know,
but
they're
gossip
very,
about
yeah.
each other. They all
Exactly.
probably actually deep down hated each other.
Oh, yeah.
And
Dude,
One always had to be better than the other.
we were talking about the haircuts, and I wrote this down too. Like, Joyce, calm down. It's just a fucking haircut.
For real.
Right.
She was like
Holy
into
shit.
I think
that.
I thought she was gonna get up and like the seat was gonna be wet.
Right?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Like, dude, that
it's like
woman-
I'm like, dude, get a little sexual. It's for kids. You know?
Oh man.
Is this what was this movie rated? Was it PG or PG-13?
PG-13.
Yeah.
Okay,
PG-13.
so-
Yeah, so it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay if she moans and has an orgasm.
Did she
It's
have
PG-13.
did she have upside down pineapples on her front doorstep?
Oh shit.
Oh Jesus!
I think that she was the most annoying character to me. If they would have taken her out of this movie completely, I'd have been okay.
I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
the point was that you had to have like one king bitch, so she was that.
She didn't have to
That person.
act like
Right.
that, though.
Well, she played an archetype. So you always had that like the 50s housewife that was like always looking for sex,
Yep.
and that was the archetype she played on top of being king bitch.
She was the one. She's that archetype of a housewife who's always looking for an affair.
Yeah.
She's always
Looking for
looking.
excitement.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's looking to spice it up, even if that doesn't.
Drama.
Even if that means not with her husband.
Yep,
Yeah.
So, and there are a lot of women like that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
for sure. Even today,
yep.
even when they have
It's not
jobs
as
and they're
prominent
out there.
nowadays, but it's still
No,
it still
it's still
happens.
there.
But
I
I think back in the day that was something that was more commonly seen.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have too many notes on this movie because I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need to write
I
that down.
finished mine.
Well, I have a few more. I liked how like Edward invented the poodle haircut. It's like if Forrest Gump was directed by Tim Burton.
If Forrest Gump was. Oh, that's good shit.
And also, how did the neighbors know what Edward did to Joyce's drapes? Joyce doesn't, or not Joyce's, but Peg's drapes.
It's
Because
good.
Peg's not the type of person that would say
Yeah,
anything.
did you hear?
Unless like her son ran his mouth, because that would be the only one that would say anything.
Right, yeah.
Why would he be talking to the housewives?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like her,
By that
the
time-
son comes off as the type of kid that really doesn't give a shit about what's going
right?
on.
Like
so
Just
by
like his
then,
dad.
yeah,
by then
pretty
Kim's,
much, yeah.
By then Kim's on his side, so she's not going to say anything.
Mm.
Peg's not going to say anything. The dad doesn't give a shit. Neither does the son. So who told the neighbors about the drapes?
They're just that nosy.
I guess so.
They're fucking nosy.
I would hate it if my
Constantly
neighbors were that
staring in
nosy.
through the windows.
Well, you saw what happened whenever she brought him home in the first place. They were out in front of her house until dark, whenever
Yeah.
all their husbands finally came home, and then they all rushed back home to their husbands.
Yeah.
It's like you literally stood out there for hours talking and wondering, and You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Gossiping.
It's like a fucking news crew out in front of your house after a murder.
Yeah, no.
The other one I had was
Bless
like
you.
Kim was like behind everyone
Yeah.
when they all started running up behind Edward when he ran back up to the castle.
Yeah.
She was behind everyone, but she was the first one up there.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, how did she even get up there before anyone?
She runs track.
That must be it.
Oh, yeah. Problem solved.
No,
It's
she
a
don't
fairy
run
tale.
track. She don't run track.
It's a fairy tale.
She's definitely, but
It's
she's
a fairy tale.
she's running some. She's running that tail.
She's a sprinter.
Yeah.
And then that scissor hand that she grabbed was covered in cobwebs, and by the time she walks out, it's completely clean.
Maybe she was
Which
wiping
is
it
just
off.
like-
She was wiping it off as she
I know,
was
but
walking.
it should have
Blew
like
on it.
blood or something on it for her story, right?
She blew on it.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm just saying. But fairy tale.
Exactly,
tale.
fairy
Maybe that
tale.
wasn't the hand he stabbed him with. Maybe it was just a clean hand.
Maybe. And my final note is fuck you, Joyce.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Sounds about right.
Fuck you, Joyce.
It's a fairy tale.
Why fuck you, Joyce?
Because I don't like the bitch.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Fuck you,
I don't
Joyce.
fucking like her
Yeah,
either.
that was my last
She
note.
was the only person in the whole movie that I'm like, I cannot fucking stand this lady.
That was literally my last note.
I
Fuck
didn't
you,
like
Joyce.
the Jesus woman.
I didn't like her either, but
Nobody likes her.
I would spend an
yeah.
entire day with her over Joyce.
oh, 100%. I would take
I would
it.
listen to
Yeah.
her crazy ramblings all
Yeah.
day long. Dude, she tried to jump you every 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, she'd be trying to bone you. And do you really want that?
No, I don't.
Not if you're
You
a
could
chick.
got a sip of Herpolades.
Yeah.
Yeah, something worse than that, probably.
What's worse than that?
I don't know, but there probably is.
Okay.
The shame of everybody saying you slept with her. Like,
right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
All right, everybody got their stuff? We good?
Yep.
Everybody feel cleansed of the movie?
Yep.
Let's go, this bitch.
All right, let's get into our reviews. Karen, you want to go first this time?
Sure. Sorry, I'm pulling up my shit here.
It's cool.
Okay, so first of all, this movie came out when I was pretty young.
Was it 1990?
Yeah,
Like a year
So-
after I was born.
I was like 6 when this movie came out, something like that.
Yep.
So I was pretty young, and obviously first interaction with Tim Burton, who became a huge influence over my life. And the composition, the music is beautiful. The look of the movie obviously plays a lot into it, and the look of Tim Burton's influences a lot over the years, obviously. But this one sort of started the trend, so you have to give it props there. It has flaws too, but a lot of those I can explain away with the fairy tale. I
Right.
mean, it's
That and it's almost, 40 years old?
yeah. I mean, there's a lot
35?
that it's because it's a '90s movie that you can't really help. But on top of that, it's supposed to be a fairy tale, and you have to suspend your belief or your disbelief in some areas. I think for fairy tales to work anyway. So this is no different, in my opinion. So I'm gonna say 7.5 from me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eric?
My pros, I'm going to say, is I thought it aged well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a 1990 movie and it still looks pretty good. It's nostalgic. Grew up watching it. Colors, I thought the
Oh,
colors really popped in the movie.
Yeah.
And
That's the idea, yeah.
yeah, score, I liked the score to the movie. Dialogue was okay. Didn't have too many issues with the dialogue.
Didn't really need any dialogue.
No.
You got Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah,
Which
He's
is-
like with his
to
facial
me,
expressions.
that's a
And,
plus.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you don't need a lot of dialogue to tell your story, then
I agree.
Cinematography was okay. Like Joseph said, it needed some editing done to it.
Some of the editing was a little poor.
Yeah,
Not even just the cinematography and things, but like just the editing and
general.
in general with like the scene editing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about what I'm going to give it. Like the cons were pretty much the editing and stuff like that. So I came in at
Is that you?
7.
7.
Yeah, 7 for me.
Dad?
For me, I think that this movie, I agree, it has aged fairly well but it's not really, a movie of its time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a movie that is essentially timeless because it's set in a certain sort of era that wasn't the era it was made in.
Good
So-
fairy tales are usually timeless.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that in that case, you're right. It has aged well because of that reason. Other than all the fucking leather. Like, that's just the thing. I don't know. Like, people's not really
I
into
think
the
that's
leather
more like
thing.
a Tim Burton.
It is.
I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
know.
it was a thing that Tim Burton
Yeah.
would do.
I like how they threw in that quarantine house too.
Yeah, it was just in the background,
Yeah.
and you know. But I think that overall the movie was good. I've always loved the movie. I don't like it as much as I did as a kid.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's because we can't suspend our belief as well as we
all
used to.
that, and I notice a lot more flaws with it now. As an
That's
adult,
what I mean is that like we can't as easily explain those things away.
right? So, so for that, I think it is a Tim Burton movie, and it's probably I consider Tim Burton's like holy trinity is like this movie, Beetlejuice, and like as much as I don't like it, even Nightmare Before Christmas. That's his holy trinity of movies.
I don't know if I really consider that one of his movies since he didn't really direct it. I mean, he had influence over it, but
Yeah, maybe,
The Nightmare
but
Before Christmas.
mhm.
I hate that movie.
but it was kind of it's definitely very much associated with him.
yeah, I don't really understand why though, because he didn't.
I don't know either because yeah, you're right. I don't think he really even directed it.
He didn't.
But I don't know. He's associated
The
with
only
it.
thing he did was do the storyboards, which obviously,
Mhm.
and I think he was involved in some of the music writing, but that was it.
I don't know. In my
He's
opinion,
got some creative control.
right? In my opinion, this movie and Beetlejuice are like I said, Tim Burton movies.
For sure.
They're movies that were solely created by Tim Burton. They're not external properties that it was a book before or a musical or a play. These were movies that these were genuine ideas from his fucking brain. Whereas now, Tim Burton's washed up, in my opinion,
I agree.
because he doesn't make anything original anymore. So whenever it comes to you talk about Tim Burton movies, you got to talk about Beetlejuice and you got to talk about Edward Scissorhands. And if you want to, you can even throw Frankenweenie in there because
Yeah.
originally that was one of his an original short by him, and then he created a movie out of it.
Yep.
So in that being said,
And he's influenced
I'm not-
a lot of people.
I'm not a huge Tim Burton fan like a lot of people are. I think his style
I
is
don't
great.
think there's enough catalog to say you're a huge Tim Burton fan. I would say, in my opinion, Tim Burton is more an influence to others.
In a way, yeah, but like people really, really like see Tim Burton in this like light of like this one of the greatest directors and blah blah blah,
wouldn't go that
greatest creators, whatever you want to call him, whatever you want to consider him. But I disagree, man. I think he's great and he's got a cool style, but that style's diminished over all these years.
Yeah, if he
You don't see that style anymore. Out
yeah,
of him.
if he could have kept that up and kept being original.
Yeah, if he would have stayed original, I liked whenever he was doing the darkness around the eyes and doing the really pale faces.
Yeah, I don't know why
and
he stepped away from everything that made him
so
him.
good.
He
Yeah.
was.
So now, because like the Wednesday TV show,
That was him.
yeah, that was Tim Burton. He created that show, and I'm like, cool, it's gonna be fucking Tim Burton. Like, what better property for Tim Burton to take on than the Addams
Addams
Family?
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's perfect
and
for him.
He did very well.
He did well, yes, but at the same time, I'm like, it doesn't feel like Tim Burton. I feel like anybody else could have
didn't
done
even
this
know.
too.
Correct.
This could have been
You're
any
right.
director,
yeah,
in
you're
my
absolutely
opinion.
right.
So,
Yeah,
Like, it was
Madison kinda
good.
Nailed that. Like that was Tim Burton. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
100%.
saying. That was Tim Burton,
Yep.
and that's sad that's
Because you used to be able to go, yeah, Tim Burton.
that
did
is
this.
definitely a Tim Burton movie. Like you look at like
like like for example, you said Nightmare Before Christmas.
it's very much Tim
Everybody
Burton.
goes, that's Tim Burton.
Yeah, because of his style, his art
Yeah,
style.
Yeah.
Well, you see his art style.
Yeah,
in
you
it.
see his art style. Exactly.
Same as especially the second Batman
you
movie.
can understand why people would assume that that's a Tim Burton flick. It's
Yeah,
not, but
it's
yeah.
right. You can see why they would consider it a Tim Burton movie because you see his influence all throughout the movie.
Sure.
Same as like Frankenweenie or even The Corpse Bride. You see a lot of that in it. those movies.
Sweeney Todd, was that one of his?
Yes.
That was
it
his too.
Yeah.
And you
and
can
that
see
one I would say he did well with. He did stick to his style quite a bit.
and that was the last one.
Good
Yeah.
one.
The last good one that he
good
did.
one.
And that wasn't even an original idea from him. That was actually a musical from Broadway.
Correct.
That was a Broadway musical.
But he threw in his.
Same as
He's saying like his original concepts, the things he came up with, Beetlejuice.
Oh,
and,
I know
yeah.
where he's coming. I'm
Yeah.
just saying he just threw his twist onto the.
exactly.
He
He
threw
did
his
this.
artistic
Yeah.
flair.
And this is where I'm like, I'm just not a huge fan of Tim Burton anymore. He's lost it.
I
You know,
agree.
he's
I-
lost
you're not
what I
gonna get-
loved about him.
Yeah, you're not going to get any argument from me
And
there.
so, in that, and I think that this is why Beetlejuice will always be my favorite movie of his because
Sure.
it is the most Tim Burton.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
that movie is the most Tim Burton movie you're gonna get, and it looks fantastic. It's well directed. It's beautiful, and it's got Gina Davis and fucking. I know as much as everybody's hating Alec Baldwin right now, but it had Alec Baldwin in it,
Well, Alec Baldwin was good at one time.
Yeah.
He's just a dick now.
and also it had your fucking Winona Ryder in
Winona
it,
Ryder.
and it was just a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
But I think for this one, of the two, this one is definitely, it would come in second to Beetlejuice by far.
Agreed.
So, but I think that for this, I'll give it a. I mean, I'm running for a really long time about it. I think I'm going to come in with I'll give it a 6 because I'm not a huge fan of it anymore. I still like it.
Just
And-
worn down.
I'm more out on it. I could watch Beetlejuice all day. Like I love Beetlejuice, but also because of Michael Keaton. So, but for this, I'm
Yeah,
just
you
like,
really
eh.
can't go wrong. Hey,
Yeah,
we
for
don't
this-
have- we don't have Beetlejuice in the box.
We don't. We could add it. We're gonna add it. We're gonna add it to the box. Hopefully, we don't draw it next though, or anything anytime soon. I don't want to draw
We
it too
can't
soon.
draw it next because it's not in there.
No,
right
it's
now.
not in there yet. But all right, but yeah, I'll give it a 6. I'm gonna come in at a 6.
All right, Madison, what is your review?
Well, let me tell you.
Well, I'd say it's a good movie. I love the movie. I like it more than I did whenever I was little.
Why are you talking so fast?
She can.
Did you drink a monster
She's
today?
hosted.
No, I drank one yesterday.
She's the hostess
Softball
with the most.
reward.
I guess the hostess with the mostest.
And I like the colors. The colors were good too. I like how the mansion
The very
contrasted
pastel
from the-
colors.
I like how the mansion contrasted from the actual town and stuff, and how that was completely different. But then there was the garden that looked completely colorful up against the black and white thing. That was really pretty.
Beautiful.
And
Doing a lot of hand gestures there.
I'm trying to be
She's
like
trying to
the
sell her.
yeah
She's trying to sell
sell
her
it.
review.
yeah yeah. And
Joseph's over there trying to dab.
I like the small details, like how they did place it around Christmas time and how it was like a fairy tale. I didn't realize it until after you said that, but you're right, it is like a fairy tale. It's like, it's almost got that, darkish part to the whole fairy tale thing. Just like the old, Cinderella,
Yep.
like how they cut off their heels and their
It's
eyes
very
were
much
plucked
derived
out.
from a
Old
wow,
fairy
shit, what
tale.
are those fairy tales?
The Grimm fairy
The Grimm
tales.
fairy tales.
Yeah. I liked that point of it. So I'm going to give it a 7.5, just like Karen. Yeah. So now let's do the Rotten Tomatoes reviews. So what are you guys thinking? For the critics.
Critics, I'm gonna go. I think that they didn't care for it that much. I'm gonna go 65.
Fuck you.
Okay.
65.
Yeah, for the critics.
What about you, Eric?
I'm going 60.
60?
Okay.
Wow, you guys are way lower than I wanted to go.
I think the critics didn't care for it that
Yeah,
much.
I'm thinking critics wise. I'm 60.
What'd you say, 65? I'm going to go 80. I think it's an 80. I bet it's high.
Dad's going to take this one with the 80. It was actually 89.
Damn.
Whoa, for the critics?
I told you guys. You guys undercut that too much. This is before they hated Johnny Depp.
Why do they hate Johnny Depp?
Because of Amber Turd.
Oh, okay. Anyways, what do you guys think it is for the audience?
Oh,
That's going to be
78.
high.
84.
I'm going to go 90.
Dad takes this one. It was 91.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was close, dude. Wow.
Wow, he cheated.
What the fuck, dude?
He read your notes.
I can't read that. She writes in pencil.
It's a pen.
Oh, I can't see it. It's in like a different colored pen.
old now, you
It's
can't
a
see
gold
as far.
gel
I
pin.
can't read pen.
He can't read pen.
I was
It's
trying
his
to find
only
my silver
weakness.
one, but you know.
Right.
All right. Now the low reviews. This one's a 1.5. It says saw it when it came out. ... in 1990. Period. Did not enjoy it. Period. Thought. THOT. It was ridiculous. ... Like the most deplorable movies. Period.
Deplorable, as in?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
DEPP, like as in
Johnny
Johnny
Depp.
Depp.
Do they know the definition of deplorable, though?
Don't think so.
Because they didn't even use it in the
Like
right
most
context.
of-
They're trying
Deplorable.
to be, witty.
Funny and
movies,
witty,
yeah.
because it's not working.
Giving it a generous 1.5 RT stars out of max equals 0000F, comma, rotten.
When was this comment?
March 10th, 2023.
Yep, that's why. Like I said, people are hating on him.
Fuck them.
All right.
Must be some amber turd lover.
2 stars. Nothing happens in this movie. Period. Some people are obsessed with this movie, and I'm not one of them. Period.
That is true. I will say that this movie has no consequence. There are no consequences in this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And there are nobody learns
never,
anything by the end of the movie.
I never really put that together.
Nobody's a better person by the end of it. Nobody's changed in any way.
Well, no,
except
the only people that did change are the people that shouldn't have changed, except for Kim. Kim changed for the better.
Yeah, she was the only one.
Peg is now feeling bad for doing what
Was a good thing.
was a good thing.
Yeah. Her husband's the same. Everybody else is the same.
Yeah.
There's one dead child.
Yeah, and Edward just gets left up there to fucking rot. And he
essentially.
did absolutely nothing.
Nothing wrong
You know
except
what?
be.
I
Yeah.
hate this movie too. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying
Okay.
there's
Makes me
no
sad now.
there's no consequence and there's no lesson to be learned here.
You're right.
I mean, there is a lesson to be learned, but it's not. There's no
I guess
conclusion
that's
to
another
it.
point for it to be a
And I
a
thought about
fairy
that
tale
yesterday.
because,
Yeah.
like a lot of times in those grim fairy tales,
In the end,
there was no
yeah,
comeuppance.
yeah.
It was just here's a shitty story.
Yeah.
Good night.
All right. Next one's half a star. It says terrible plot. Period. Nonsense story. Period. Bad ending. Different, odd, but not.
But why?
But why? Like, I hate that shit. Like,
This, and this. But
Okay.
why? Because I said.
Because
I
I
mean-
said Tim Burton's aesthetic is as eye-catching as always, but for me, despite the recommendation, I really didn't like the movie. Characters react to situations passively without a main thrust to the story.
Very wooden.
Female characters were a little cliche as well.
Yes. That was the idea.
yeah, that was the point.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
Okay.
1950s housewife.
2 stars. I do not like this movie. I have never been a big fan of Tim Burton, but this is next level bad. It is so dark at times, and there is a lot of pointless scenes and moments. It's fine, I guess, for what it is.
You just completely contradicted everything you
Yeah.
just said
No, that
in the
was a
last
different-
3 words of that fucking.
Oh, no,
yeah.
she said there was.
Okay. A star and a half. I did not see this film when it was popular. I just recently saw it, and I cannot, for the life of me, understand what the hype was. This did not age well. Maybe it was, or this did not age well. It was terrible. I could barely stay focused. Maybe it was at the top of the heap for the time in which it was released, but there are other older movies that still play well today. This is not one of those enduring classics. Rubbish.
Rubbish.
British.
Give us one more and that's it.
Okay. Edward Scissorhands starts with unbelievable imagination and real fairy tale feel, which I admired, only to feel stale, boring, and downright dumb at parts once he gets to the suburban areas. I'm sorry, but I really don't get the appeal of this movie. It starts off strong and as everything I admire in a Tim Burton film, but collapses in its ultimately cliches script.
I don't know what about this. The cliches were meant to be there specifically to serve the purpose of being a cliche.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know what. All right, never mind.
If they didn't get that, then.
Yeah.
they
then
probably
obviously-
don't like a lot of other movies for the same reasons, and they're missing out on a lot of good cinema because of that.
Yeah, right. Usually, whenever it's a cliche and it's blatantly
hang on,
one,
hang on.
then it's because they're talking.
It's
part of the story, and they're talking about it for a reason.
It's a plot point.
Yeah,
For a
exactly.
reason.
Okay, we got a star and a half here. Last one. What happens when you turn a child's drawing into a film?
That's funny
Was that
because
an act-
that's really what he did.
Yeah.
It was Tim Burton's drawing from when he was, well, not a kid, he was like 14 or something like that.
A man with scissors
Yeah.
for hands,
Well, I don't think they were scissors. I think they were just like sharp.
knives.
or
So they
something.
were Freddy Cougar.
Yeah, I
Essentially.
guess.
All right, let's get into our trivia.
You know, it's kind of
Did
you know what? Hold on. You know what's kind of ironic about that
Oh.
is he was killed by a man with knives for hands, and then in another life comes back as a man with scissors for hands, and both involve beds.
Do you think maybe that's like what's that where you die
Theory.
and come back?
Reincarnation.
Reincarnation. Maybe he's
Maybe
Reincarnation.
Glenn reincarnated.
Glenn reincarnated. I feel like I was Glenn in another life.
Maybe my last name was Glenn, which
Maybe
is
that's why he
also
was
basic.
staring at Kim because he's like, "That's the kind of girl I used to get."
I used to get girls like that.
I think.
Now I've got scissors for hands, and I've got a lot of leather, and I need a brush.
Did you want to talk about the average or no?
The aggregate.
Yeah, the aggregate.
We can, yeah. What was your aggregate? You usually say that after everybody's.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't.
What is
kept
it?
Going, so I wasn't sure. Well, you gave it a 6. I gave it a 7.5. Eric was 7. She was 7.5. So that brings it to 7, even.
A 7 even.
I nailed it.
We're actually lower than the actual either of the scores for critics and audience.
Yeah. But I think we were fairer.
I think we were very fair. I think we also critiqued it a lot more than they probably would have.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, we watched
We're also
it-
a smaller audience, though. You know what I mean?
That's true. You bring in
Smaller
other
pool.
people, I think that it would probably raise.
Yeah. smaller
I gave it a
pool.
fairly low score for being a Tim Burton fan.
Yeah, he's such a jerk.
Sweet ass trivia with Karen.
Okay, so now trivia. All right, this is the first time that Tim Burton and Johnny Depp worked together. They became good friends while making the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, too
He's
good.
too good. He's also their child's godfather.
Yeah. The role of the inventor was written specifically for Vincent Price. It was also intended to be longer.
We didn't even talk about Vincent Price.
I know.
I
It
mentioned
was his last
Yeah,
role.
he did. He talked about it. Well, we're going to talk about it in trivia, okay?
Okay.
Does that make you feel better?
Yeah.
It was also intended to be larger, but the veteran actor was very ill with emphysema and Parkinson's disease, so his scenes were cut to a minimum.
Mm-hmm.
The entire story is meant to be seen through Edward's eyes, which is why the neighborhood looks so fantastical. The houses used in the film were a real community in Florida, completely unchanged except for their garish exterior paint. The neighborhood is based on Tim Burton's hometown of Burbank, California. Although Tim Burton said this isn't his greatest film, he said that it is his favorite of all his films. And the score is Danny Elfman's favorite of all of his soundtrack compositions. Diane Wiest was the first to sign on. Diane in particular was wonderful, Tim Burton said. She was the first actress to read the script, supported it completely, and because she is so respected, once she had given it her stamp of approval, others soon got interested. Though Tim Burton was unfamiliar with Johnny Depp's then popular performance in 21 Jump Street, he had always been Burton's first choice. At the time of his casting, Depp was wanting to break out of the teen idol status which his performance in 21 Jump Street had afforded him. Fox studio executives were so worried about Edward's image that they tried to keep pictures of Depp in full costume under wraps until release of the film. To prepare for his role, Depp watched the films of silent movie actors Charles Chaplin to get an idea of how to express emotion without dialogue. He also lost 25 pounds for the role. In an old interview with Charlie Rose, Johnny Depp spoke about his experience on set with Tim Burton and noted that they had similar sense of humor and got on well. However, Depp also said he wasn't sure if Burton was happy with his performance. To further complicate his feelings of insecurity, there was an incident involving some fans. I can remember when we were doing Scissorhands, we were living in this sort of resort, some kind of country club thing, and there was a knock on the door one afternoon while everybody was off rehearsing, he said. There were 2 young girls at the door, and I thought, oh crap, they found me. and maybe they would want me to sign something. I don't know. So I opened the door and I said, well, how do you do? And they said, hi, is Tom Hanks here? Does he live here? I said, what? No, not yet. Because in my head, I was convinced that Hanks would be replacing me. It was one of the most frightening moments in my career. Depp's concerns turned out to be unwarranted, and Burton loved how he played the iconic character. Funny enough, though, early on, Tom Hanks was considered for the part of Edward.
I don't know if he could have done.
I don't think I can't see anybody else.
Well, I don't know, man. I think he might have been able to do an okay job because back then Tom Hanks was a very comedic actor, and he had great facial expression too.
Yeah, but I also just can't see him with that.
You can't.
Hair
Well, you can't because you never, like you said, it was never made. So, but I think in this case, I think
if
that
you were to tell me Johnny Depp was playing it Edward Scissorhands, I'd be like, what?
Well, maybe now, but like back then, but if you think about like Tom Hanks back then, he would have killed it in this role.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like
I could see him like in the in the gear, like maybe I could.
You're picturing Tom Hanks now and what he's done.
No. I'm picturing very much like Bachelor Party, Tom Hanks, and
The Burbs,
The Money Pit, The Burbs. That's what I'm picturing. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Like he's very much a comedic actor with his facial expression, his movement. It would just be a different Edward Scissorhands, is all it is. And would it still be as good? You wouldn't know.
I don't know, because he comes off as a dad to me. Even back then,
maybe. You know, this was 90. When did The Burbs come out and all that?
87.
Was it 87?
Something like that.
Was it really that?
Late 80s. That's what I'm saying.
Huh.
He's a dad.
Yeah, maybe.
Even in Bachelor Party kind of gave you like a daddish feel.
Yeah, or he's about to be a dad. Like he's not.
I guess I never really have seen him in anything other than like a dad role, like an adult role. Yeah. I've never seen him as like a kid.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can't see him playing a young.
Maybe. But this could have solidified him to be able to play a younger person, I suppose.
Maybe. In her high school days, Winona Ryder got beaten up for not dressing up like her character, Kim. Instead, she felt comfortable in boys' clothing and had to face unfortunate consequences because of it. Ryder says she was kicked repeatedly in the school bathroom. Luckily, the actress was able to get revenge on her tormentors. She reveals, years later, I went into a coffee shop and ran into one of the girls who kicked me. She said, Winona, can I have your autograph? She said, do you remember me? I went to Kenilworth. Remember how in 7th grade you beat up that kid? She said, yeah, I kind of do. And she goes, well, that was me. Go fuck yourself.
Oh.
Winona Ryder was a bitch, dude. She did not give a fuck.
No. So, in case you guys couldn't tell, Edward's hair is based on Robert Smith of The Cure.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Tim Burton had actually asked Robert Smith of The Cure to do the soundtrack and had even sent the script. Robert was busy recording Disintegration at the time.
I was going to say, I think he was like busy doing something else. Yeah.
And didn't know who Burton was. So he passed up the opportunity, handing the job off to Danny Elfman.
I'm sure he regrets that now.
No shit. Alan Arkin, who played Bill the dad, says when he first read the script, he was a bit baffled. Nothing really made sense to me until I saw the sets. Burton's visual imagination is extraordinary. Olan Jones arranged and actually played the organ music her character Esmeralda performs on screen. When Tim Burton first saw Stan Winston's enhanced drawings, he said, I didn't think he'd actually have scissors for fingers. I thought they'd just be long, sharp pieces of metal that weren't finished, but this is much better. Edward is regarded... This confused the shit out of me, so if anybody can really explain this to me, because I looked it up, I tried to find definitions, I tried to explain this, I can't. Edward is regarded as an artificial human, but he is more of a homunculus than a robot or a golem. The definition of a homunculus is little man. And it literally means like...
Say little man?
Yeah, so like what I got out of the definition was like, so there's a theory back in the day that like sperm carried actual humans, and that's what he is. He's what
is in sperm.
Yeah, he's like just what, instead of it growing, he just came out that way. That's the best I got out of the definition that I got.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I got nothing.
I could see Gollum or
yeah, I could see
or
Gollum
something like
too,
that.
yeah.
Because like they're human-esque, humanoid.
Yeah, or a robot or android.
Robot, android, something like that. Essentially, that's what Edward Scissorhands is. He's a fucking android.
No, he's definitely not. He's definitely not. According to this, he is not a robot. He's not an android. He's artificial.
Yeah, artificial would be an android.
No,
No,
there's
because
there's nothing robotic about him.
He has flesh and stuff.
Flesh,
he bleeds.
bone, organs of some kind.
It shows him in the book. He has robotic parts,
Right. But
like gears and things like that inside him that work. He
But
never ages.
I'm only telling you what this says. And then it says that Johnny Depp, I like what Johnny Depp had to say. Johnny Depp just characterizes Edward as a creation.
Yeah, that's
Let's
the best
go with
way.
that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that is the best way to
Absolutely.
say.
Yeah.
He is what he is. He's nothing that has been defined. I guess you could say. You know what I mean? He's what his inventor created, which is not an android, robot, anything like that. It's just he is one of a kind.
He's just a creation.
He's a creation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tim Burton mentions that there were two things that caused Johnny Depp to throw up while filming. The first was all the food that he had stuffed into his face during the cookout scene.
That would have made me throw up too.
No shit. The other was a scene later when he's running down the street away from the police. Depp had to film the shot of him running the length of the road 6 times, the last of which caused him to run into the trees and purge. I think that's the only two that I'm aware of, said Burton. Seems obvious.
Well, that and he also said that he had to lose 25 pounds.
Yeah.
He lost 25 pounds to play the role, which means he was probably starving himself. So to ingest so much food or to run that distance would probably make somebody throw
more like
up.
the heat in that leather.
It
You got to
could
run
be
that
too,
length
yeah.
6 times in that heat.
in that leather, yeah.
I'm puking too.
Yeah, no shit.
Seems obvious, but Tim Burton and Carolyn Thompson cite monster stories, specifically The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Phantom of the Opera, Frankenstein, King Kong, Creature of the Black Lagoon, or from the Black Lagoon, and fairy tales, obviously, as influences on the film.
Obviously, from the Black Lagoon is definitely, you can see that influence if you've ever seen that movie. So
Tim Burton wrote Winona's character
or even
as,
Frankenstein, I guess.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the one I think of the most,
Yeah.
As a popular cheerleader who is pretty much the antithesis of Winona. In Burton on Burton, the director laughs about how unusual it was to see Ryder in her girly outfits. It was so funny. Burton recalls, I used to laugh every day when I saw her walk on set wearing this little cheerleader outfit.
She was very tomboyish back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wearing this little cheerleader, well, she still is.
Yeah.
And a Haley Mills type blonde wig. She looked like Bambi. Contrary to popular belief, Winona Ryder was actually cast in the film before Johnny Depp got the part of the title character. Sean Astin was considered for the role of Jim, but he turned it down as he wasn't comfortable playing a villain.
I couldn't see it.
I
mean, I could see him doing it, but you would see Sean Astin.
I wouldn't.
He's such a nice
I
guy.
couldn't take him seriously.
He's Bob, dude, from
Yeah,
Stranger Things.
I couldn't take him seriously. Christian Slater, Kiefer Sutherland, Keith Coogan, and River Phoenix were also considered for the role.
I could see all of those guys
Absolutely
doing
every
it,
single one of them.
especially Christian Slater.
Tom Cruise, Jim Carrey, Robert Downey Jr. were all considered for the role of Edward Scissorhands. The only one that I can see is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I was gonna say Robert Downey Jr.
back then doing that.
When Tom Cruise was being considered for the main role, you guys are going to kick out this. The reason I left this in was because I laughed so hard. When Tom Cruise was being considered for the main role, he asked a lot of odd questions.
Of course he did.
How did Edward go to the bathroom? How did he live without eating all those years?
Wasn't there another movie that he was like that on? Where he's
Probably
asking
every
him
fucking movie
a bunch of stupid questions coming from a guy who believes in Scientology.
Right? Cruise was certainly unwilling to be in the movie without those questions being answered. He also wanted the movie to have a happy ending. So, he didn't get the role. Gary Oldman had been considered early on for the title role, but after reading the script, he turned down the offer, later regretting his decision. I don't know if I could see him. He's great. But him playing Edward.
Who?
Gary Oldman.
I don't know about that.
Exactly. I mean, he's amazing. Could he do it?
He was pretty young back then.
Yeah, but even what was it? The Sex Pistols when he played that guy.
Oh, Sid.
Yeah,
Sid and Nancy.
Even when he played Sid Vicious, like I can't imagine him playing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He doesn't really. I don't know.
He doesn't have a look.
But it's Gary Oldman, dude. Like we've said over and over again, Gary Oldman could be playing you right now, and I wouldn't even know it.
You're right.
So, just saying. I think he could do it. It's Gary Oldman.
You're right.
That motherfucker is top notch.
Pulls some magic.
He's true.
That dude could play.
He could probably play Edward now. We wouldn't notice.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
Yeah.
Tim Burton remembers sending a copy of his first film, Vincent, to Vincent Price. Actually, Burton refers to the legendary actor as him. He wrote Burton back after watching Vincent, and the director mentions he was the first person of that stature who supported his work. It was a huge moment in Burton's early career. For
I
someone...
bet. I bet to him, Vincent Price is probably a legend to him.
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
He's a legend to me. I mean, it's Vincent Price.
He's a legend to anybody who matters. I mean, like, my God. It was a huge moment in Burton's early career for someone like him to not only notice him, but also appreciate him and understand what he was doing with his work. This movie is included among the 1001 movies you must see before you die. Sarah Gilbert was considered for the role of Kim, but the producers of Roseanne wouldn't allow her out of her contract. No.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore, Julia Roberts, Molly Ringwald, Leah Thompson, Alyssa Milano, Jennifer Connelly, Ali Sheedy, Heather Langenkamp, Elizabeth Shue, and Uma Thurman were also considered for the role.
There's a few of those I could see.
Sure. Tim Burton...
She's a very one-note character. She wouldn't be hard to play.
Yeah, I don't disagree. But I liked how Winona did it, though. Her eyes conveyed a lot.
I'd say, yeah, that's true. But there's a few other actresses in that list that could have done the same.
Sure, no, I'm not disagreeing.
But yeah, I think that she's a very one-note character. She didn't have a lot of dialogue, and when she did, it was simple. You know what I mean?
I just like how you saw that turn in her character from this bitch at the beginning to who she was at the end.
Yeah.
And Winona did a good job pulling.
She did a great job. I think Winona Ryder's she's a very underutilized actress. But she also almost fucked her career early.
Oh, for sure.
You know, with stealing all that shit from that store or whatever. Like, why would you rich, dude? Like, why you gotta steal shit?
Right.
You know? It's almost like she was like, I'm a klepto. You know what I mean? Like, I just like stealing stuff, you know?
Dumbass. Tim Burton. Yeah, maybe.
What?
Thrill.
Likes the thrill.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe she was bored, something like that. Had to have been. It's like, she got caught.
Almost happened, for sure.
Yeah, so, I mean...
Tim Burton originally wanted Gina Davis for the role of Peg after working with her on Beetlejuice. However, Davis was unavailable as she was busy shooting Quick Change. I can't imagine.
Peg?
Diane Weiss was exactly what Peg was supposed to be. Peg
I was just saying,
sweet and kind.
I mean, well, let's get real here. I mean, she could play that too. I mean, easily.
Gina Davis? She's yeah, but she not as well as Diane Weiss.
Maybe not, but like she could totally play it. But the problem with that is I don't think she looked old enough. She wasn't old enough at that time to play a role like that. Diane Weiss was much older than her.
I think they're the same age, but yeah, Diane Weiss looks it.
That and Gina Davis was too hot at that time to play a mom role like that. You know what I mean? Like
Diane Weiss does a much better sweetheart.
Because of her voice. She's got that very high pitched, very sweet motherly voice.
She's so sweet.
Yeah. And she's like in Lost Boys. She's the same in Lost Boys. Yeah.
Exactly. One of the two films released in 1990 in which Johnny Depp plays the title role for the first time. The other is Crybaby. Tim Burton had originally planned for the film to be a musical, feeling like it seemed big and operatic to me, but later dropped the idea. Thank God. Crispin Glover auditioned for the role of Jim. That's funny to me.
Crispin Glover did?
Yeah. Marty McFly's dad?
Yeah, but why?
I don't know.
That would be weird.
He later played...
Especially coming off of being Marty McFly's dad. You know what I mean? Like, you were Marty McFly's dad, dude. How are you going to come in here and play...
beat up.
Yeah, how are you going to come in here and play an asshole?
Yeah.
Like, but then again...
Well, that's true, yeah.
Anthony...
He was Farmer
Ted. He's the same thing.
He later played an antagonist to Johnny Depp and Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
Will Wheaton was considered for the role of Jim, but was contractually obligated to Star Trek The Next Generation.
Who?
Will Wheaton.
Trying to think
Stand
of
By Me.
Toy Soldiers.
Shit.
I can't even put a face to him, honestly.
God, he's done so much. I'm drawing a blank.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway.
Just keep going.
Dustin Hoffman was considered for the role of Bill Boggs, but he was unavailable because he was shooting Dick Tracy. Other considerations, Harvey Keitel, Harry Dean Stanton, Tom Skerritt, John Saxon, and Roy Scheider.
Who was it? Who are they?
For Bill, the dad.
Oh, okay.
Leonard Nimoy was Burton's second choice for the inventor in case Vincent Price was unavailable.
I don't think would have... Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess.
I don't see him playing Jim.
No, he's not. He doesn't look enough like an asshole.
Of course, he is he can be an asshole.
Will Wheaton could have played a young...
He could play an asshole.
Elvis.
Huh?
Will Wheaton could have played like a young Elvis back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could play the old version of him now.
The kind that shit and that died on the toilet.
Jim Carrey auditioned for the role of Edward years before he had auditioned for the role of Ted in 16 Candles, which was eventually played by Anthony Michael Hall, the villain, Jim, in Edward Scissorhands.
Way to go full circle.
Yeah, this was Vincent Price's last screen appearance, and his last moment ever on screen is a death scene. Tim Burton mentions the power and emotion on set the day Vincent Price has filmed his death scene, given the actor's age. That's it.
All right. Next week. Dad?
That's you, Joseph.
Oh,
It's all
boy.
you, man.
Reach in the box.
Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Put your hand in
do
there.
it.
I dare you.
What are we going to do? There's so many movies to choose from now. All right.
Spaceballs.
Get a little sparse.
What the fuck?
Okay.
We don't know what it says.
That's a weird
I think it's
movie.
because
Is it Karen's handwriting?
she totally wrote this.
Yeah, probably.
see.
got
I think it's The
terrible
Departed.
handwriting.
Is it? But it's spelled depated.
I wrote that stuff like really quick too.
Yeah, it's depated.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Departed.
see.
I think it's The Departed.
No, there's an R.
Connected to the A?
Yeah, it's right there.
It's like
Yeah,
It's
you
like-
never wrote with cursive.
that's not cursive.
That's
It's
not
combined.
cursive.
It's that is cursive.
There's
like
an R there.
yeah, there is, but that's not
It's
cursive.
not a cursive
So-
R though.
So, but there's an R there. So how can it be the
An
debated?
A is supposed to
It's-
go in
'cause
circle.
that's an A with a
it's
line
supposed
that
to
goes
That's an
go up,
A
and
with
then
a
it's supposed
line
to-
off of it for the R.
It's an R though.
Oh my god.
Look, Karen, cursive A is supposed to come up like this,
I
go
know how
around like an
cursive
A.
is. I'm just saying, like when you
Stop
get older,
midway.
you just
Go
do
up.
a combination.
So we're doing The Departed next week. Are you looking it up or?
No, I'm just marking down that it's.
I will give you a quick plot synopsis. There's a lot going on with this movie.
Oh shit!
Oh boy.
Watch
This
on,
one not too
Karen.
long ago. He can do that.
I
He's
got
got
it.
He's got the same app I do.
I got it.
Because Google
The
didn't tell you.
Yeah, Google doesn't tell you.
Departed butt cheeks. Okay. The Departed from 2006 says to take down South Boston's Irish mafia, the police send in one of their own to infiltrate the underworld, not realizing the syndicate has done likewise. While an undercover cop curries favor with the mob kingpin, a career criminal rises through the police ranks, but both sides soon discover there's a mole among them. So this movie is on, you can stream it on Hulu, you can stream it on HBO Max, so there's no shortage of where to watch it. It is 2 hours and 31 minutes long, rated R, and it stars Jack Nicholson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg, Vera Farmiga. I didn't even know she was in this movie. Martin Sheen, Ray Winston, Anthony Anderson, Alec Baldwin, Kevin Corrigan, James, a bunch of other people. David O'Hara. God damn, this fucking Robert Wahlberg. There are so many people in this movie. So yeah.
Fucking everybody.
Yeah, right. So if you haven't seen this movie, it actually is a very interesting movie. So if you are interested in hearing us talk about it and you haven't seen it, I suggest watching it. So that being said, Madison.
All right. That being said, Madison, tune in next week or watch next week or whatever, and remember to find us on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and of course our YouTube
And Rumble.
Madison
Rumble.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to also share with your friends and family. And remember, we also have an email.
There's no Tumblr.
There's no tumblers.
I said
She's drinking out of a
No,
tumbler.
he's
I
over
know,
here
just-
running his mouth.
Oh, hush.
And please remember to rate us. Give us a rating on
done.
Spotify. Just
Not
saying.
done.
Just making sure you're saying it.
Yeah.
Remember, just say it, Madison. God.
Jesus Christ.
We also have a email. It's called the Bonsai Movie Crew. If you know our name, then you know our email. It's at Gmail, not Yahoo or Yahoo.
Dude, did you see like her lip curl when she said Yahoo? Like Yahoo.
Yahoo. Nobody uses Yahoo anymore.
Hotmail.
Everybody's got a Gmail. No, Hotmail. I don't even think Hotmail even exists anymore.
I use
All right.
Hotmail.
We would
Do you?
love to hear from you. Was that good?
Yes.
Okay. And rate us on Spotify. Good job. Okay. Now, say goodbye.
Next week, The Departed.
Say
Yeah.
goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
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 Sacrifice your children.